You've got to have Dahl. You've got to have Tucker Dahl. You just
Coist, I'm going to tell you, Coist, his lad. I had a curry with Coist and a couple of beers one night in Fletch, and his lad ordered a Peshawari night. Now, I ain't doing it. I ain't having it. So I just absolutely ruined him. I said, your lad, I said, he needs to have a look at himself. Fruit in a bit of bread, come on.
Yeah. I tell you what, you also need for the ideal Indian, and we had this at the Lowestoft Tandoori, we had an absolute feast, and then at the end of the night, the owner says,
would you give up the chance to play for your country to become a global star of your sport and earn big money doing it? Well, that's the choice facing rugby players right now because of the proposed new R360 League. Led by 2003 World Cup winner Mike Tindall, it's already being backed by major investors. Its goal? Turn rugby union into franchises, not clubs, add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, rugby union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
Good morning, you 4 minutes past 6 o'clock, Tuesday, May the 5th. This is TalkSport Breakfast with Donald Clark. Buy a used car and get a free 2-year service plan, plus get an extra £500 when you part exchange. Shop the Upgrade event today. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me in the studio right through until 10 o'clock. And I'll tell you what, it's Tuesday, May the 5th today. What a day Monday, May the 4th was for sport. Absolutely incredible.
But everything, mate, wasn't it? Wasn't my favourite day, I have to say to you, but, well, I watched most of it.
Well, look, it's a great day to be an Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Hearts or Wu Yiza fan, and it's not such a good day to be a Man City, Chelsea, Rangers or Sean Murphy fan, is it?
I know. I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was late because I ended up watching that snooker, mate. It was unmissable, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but the impossibility of it was that obviously earlier on in the day we've had Chelsea Forest, and then we've had the amazing events at Tynecastle with Hearts and Rangers, and then I'm trying to click between, what's happening at the Hill Dickinson and the snooker. So if a frame started in the snooker, I think, okay, start of the frame, nothing significant. Turn over, watch the football till the ball's gone out for a goal kick, turn back for the snooker, and so on and so forth. It was
I was on a plane coming down, and then I was the exact same as you when I got off. I was actually watching the Everton game and City game on my phone when I was getting to the hotel, and then I got up the stairs and I watched the end of that, and then the snooker came on. Dear me, I watched most of the Hearts Rangers game. Hearts, great result, fantastic result. I mean, genuinely hope they're going to win it now because they deserve it. I'm just looking, Jeff. I think unless I'm mistaken, they've played Rangers and Celtic 7 times and they've won 5 and drawn 1. I mean, that in itself's quite incredible. I know they get Celtic to play again, final game of the season, which could be vital. Might not be, by the way.
Might not be.
Aye.
Because obviously the next Rangers game is against Celtic. And you think the Rangers might just want to do everything in their power to stop
Well, you would
Celtic
think
having
so.
a chance of winning the title.
You would think so, Jeff. The only problem is that they look mentally weak, That's the problem. They've got nothing. Well, I'm saying they've got nothing to play for, which is a ridiculous statement when it's a Rangers-Celtic game and you've still got Champions League at stake. But I'm not sure they're mentally strong enough. That's the only thing that would concern me. I look at Rangers, 2-0 up against Celtic, played for 45 minutes, 2-0 down against Livingston, half-time, played for 45 minutes. Motherwell, 2-0, played for 45 minutes. There's a kind of common theme there. Falkirk away, getting battered first half, come back, you know what I mean? They can't play 90 minutes.
Here's Graham saying, I'm going to really praise this, Graham, but thank you for the text. He's a Rangers fan. He says, Hearts yesterday, 5 Scottish players in the starting 11, 4 on the bench. Rangers had no Scottish players starting. What won that game yesterday was homegrown players that knew what it meant to the people in the stands.
I've got it written down, Jeff. I've got it written down. First thing I wrote down, no Scotsman. It's incredible. And you can say what you like, but it matters. It's a big, big thing. It's a massive thing. Our successful team was riddled with Scotsmen, whether it was Gough, Gorham, McCall, Durant, Brown, boys like that. I could name you 8 in the team. And to be fair, it was littered with top class Europeans and others round about it. But you've got to have Scotsmen in your team, some form of Scotsman in your team. They definitely know what it's about.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'd rather talk about Hearts at this moment in time. Of course, we'll talk about Rangers. Different class, absolutely different class. And a spirit to go and play. And first half they were not non-existent, but they probably started first 10 minutes with Hearts, and then Rangers totally dominated, and that's the problem. There's no killer instinct. There's no, you can have all the talent in the world, Jeff, but if you don't have a will to win, and a mental strength, you don't win anything. And if you've not got all the strength in the world, all the ability in the world, the Rangers don't have that either. Allied, and you're mentally weak, then you have no chance. That's the one thing that Hearts looked second half, mentally strong. Look mentally strong.
And it's amazing. Kieran Maguire online last night was pointing out the difference in spending between the clubs, because a lot of people think now Tony Bloom's involved, that they are big spenders. But for instance, wages. According to Kieran, Celtic spent £74 million on Rangers, 58 million on wages, and Hearts £19 million on wages. So still a
a massive jump.
Massive.
Let's not. I mean, they're not there yet, and they've still got a long way to go.
Yeah,
but it'd be one of the great achievements. It's quite
the way they turn things around. I mean, Darren McGuinness, massive credit, because at half time, I thought Rangers were in total control. Look, we're going to come back to this during the call at the moment. We're also running a pedant of the morning competition, and congratulations, Kevin, you are the winner already at 10 minutes past 6 because he says it's Hill Dickinson, not the Hill Dickinson.
I know.
Kevin, you're a clear winner. Well done, mate. Right. Huge night, of course, in the title race.
Oh, dear me.
What do you make? Man City conceding 3 goals in 13 second-half minutes to throw away control of the title run. And the ball is absolutely in Arsenal's court right now, and especially when you look at the fixtures. I mean, people have said in the past, Arsenal bottled it. So, last night, did City let the pressure get to them? I have never seen Mark Gay make a mistake like that.
Oh, it looked like it, didn't it? I mean, it looked like it. But listen, Jeff, I watched them play Liverpool at that stadium, and Van Dijk gets a header in the 95th, 96th minute, and they could easily have won that. I mean, that last night, for me, will tell you why it's the best. I think it's the best league in the world by a distance, right? Now, I'm not saying for a minute that 2 or 3 of the best teams in the world aren't in it, because they're not in it. When you look at Barcelona, you look at Munich, and I'm going to give Wednesday night PSG, which will be incredible. But that sums it up to me why it's the best league, you know? They're all fighting for something. Everton's still hanging on to a European dream. Down at the bottom, it's carnage with, Forest. They make 4 or 5 changes, whatever it is.
8 changes.
And they batter Chelsea.
Absolutely. Chelsea were a disgrace.
Yes, they were, by the way.
But Forest were brilliant.
Correct. There's got to be a balance. Yes.
We'll pay tribute to Vítor Pereira during the course of the
We have to. There has to be a balance, yeah. Because we tend to do that far too much, talk about the negative side of things rather than the positive. Brilliant Forest. Brilliant leads recently. 2-horse race now. See, 2-horse race at the top, 2-horse race at the bottom. And it's incredible what we're watching. It really is. But Everton, different class. And somebody said to me, Everton would have been devastated with a draw. You know, and they were. They worked their socks off.
Yeah.
And it was just, I need to watch it again. The final goal is Alcaraz. He heads it back in. Jeff, just head it to the right. Head it out the pitch. Or just kill the game. There's 2 guys further up, right? It's an awkward head. I'm nitpicking a wee bit. I've got to be, I'm just like myself, I'm not trying to put myself in Big Moise's shoes. Just get it out the pitch and get your shape back in. Let the 2 boys ahead of you get back in. Because you're not going to score. But anyway, I mean, what a game of football. Drama.
By that
everything.
Stage, it was pure
drama.
bedlam, wasn't it?
It was brilliant.
Bedlam. Look, where does that leave City in the title race? Well, Pep was asked exactly that after the game last night.
Well, before the game was in our hands, because at the end it depends on our games and the goals we could score. Now it's in Arsenal hands. Of course, it's tight. It's a bad, but question of responsibility for ourselves. Brentford win and see what happens.
City fans, how are you feeling this morning? As the title is now back in Arsenal fans, what are you blaming? Defensive issues? A lack of consistency? Well, you haven't been inconsistent, have you? Not really. You've been terrific recently.
Yeah.
03717 223344. Come and tell us, was it just one of those nights? I've got a text from Ian says, Jeff, oh Jeff. I watched you on Sky for years, and because of you, when there were many games at the same time, I've had my iPad, the wife's iPad, phones and TV running at the same time. And you're telling me you struggled with 1 game of football and 1 game of snooker. You must be getting old. Oh, Ian, I'm still a youngster at heart.
I like it.
I do struggle with the technology a bit, though. I think 2 things is just about as much as I can manage at the same time. But thanks for that, Ian. Brilliant. Coming up, we've mentioned them already. We've touched on them. We'll turn our attention to the back pages on what on earth is going on at Chelsea.
Michael Carrick feels very comfortable being the Manchester United manager. He looks as if he wants the job. He doesn't get flustered by the fact that he has to wear that blazer and walk down that touchline. He's a natural fit for it, and he said that yesterday, that it feels quite natural for him. This was him speaking after the game yesterday.
It's been a good run, I think. We've obviously beat some very, very good teams, and it's been challenging. Sometimes we've won it in some ways, sometimes we've had to win it in other ways, but I love doing what I'm doing. It's a great position for me to be, and it feels pretty natural, if I'm totally honest. I'm not being blasé, because it's a difficult role, but it feels that I've been here a long time in different times, on and off. But I kind of understand what it brings, and to be sat in this position is a good position to be.
James, just following on from that, Michael, will you be disappointed now if you don't get this job?
We'll have to wait and see, all we can do, I think, when we came in, I think Champions League, to be honest, was a little bit in a distance, and we wanted to try and get back into Europe. So to be where we are, the one the players have put together with 3 games to spare is a good achievement. I see it as just being a step, though. We're not always celebrating it, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I can only do my best for the club and for the players, especially, and try and help them as best as we can, and then see what happens after.
It's the best run that Manchester United have been on.
Good morning, 6:18. It is Tuesday, May the 5th. This is TalkSport Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, who's with me. Masses to get through this morning. Steve from Burbage says, great weekend for Spurs. West Ham losing. Us playing brilliantly to win at Villa last week. You both had us down. Changed your mind yet? I'm still going to reserve judgment on that.
Oh,
because
sure,
I think there might be another twist or two.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah.
Just a quick one. Tell you what I'm not having.
Yeah.
Those City fans leaving at 3-1. What was that all about?
I know.
What was that all about?
Yeah, and then hurtling back in at 3-2. Yeah, I mean, they've had so many great years. Come on. You can't believe
your team, man.
What I did love, just very briefly in that, by the way, is I loved Erling Haaland's attitude.
Yes.
Because he gets to go back at 3-2.
What a pass, what a goal, by the way.
Absolutely brilliant finish. And then he's racing back defending, racing back to get forward again. And when it went 3-3, he's the one who's demanding the ball. Let's start again.
Great one.
And I thought his attitude, and we will talk about attitudes during the course of the morning.
Well, I'm guessing we'll be talking about the opposite attitudes. What about Chelsea? Oh,
I know, mate. I know. We're going to come on to it. Now, it is time for a quick coffee break and a look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on TalkSport, sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
And Katie Shanahan is...
Katie, morning,
Katie.
Hello, both of you. Yes, the back page is filled with too little, too late. Pictures of a very sad and concerned Pep Guardiola. I wasn't too concerned last night. City drop points. It's on for Arsenal.
It's never off.
No, I know, but it's. I feel confident now. And then we've got Barry chuckle, Arsenal laughing as Tierno double hits Pep, but Doku limits damage. I mean, yeah. Did the turnaround, we'll get to Doku in a minute, but did the turnaround say more about Everton being brilliant, or was it actually Man City falling apart?
Oh, Everton, terrific. Come on, credit where it's due. They were the same against Liverpool. I mean, he's done some. It does some job.
They were brilliant, but Coisty, come on, City were desperately fragile. 3 goals in 13
That's no
minutes.
Everton's problem. Hold on a minute. That's no Everton's problem.
Suicide from Mark Gahey.
Absolutely. But Beto could have scored in the first half. When you play a team that are better than you, right? Everton, Manchester City are better than every other team in the league, probably. Maybe the exception of Arsenal. You've got to do something different. You've got to ride your luck. You've got to defend. There's a million things you've got to do. Everton did it superbly.
They absolutely did. Jimmy Garner's one of my favourite players. He was brilliant again last night. And Jai had loads of chances in the second half, but City fell apart at the seams.
Yeah, but if City don't make mistakes and play their normal game, they win all these games. So you've got to rely on them making the mistakes, take them out of their comfort zone, not letting them do what they're good at.
Yeah.
And Everton did it brilliantly.
They did, and they got about them. They got about them fantastically. But the mistakes that City made were untypical. It doesn't normally happen to City.
Well, why did it happen? Because maybe, just maybe, they weren't getting everything their own way like they normally do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, it was a typical Everton performance.
It was
fantastic.
a brilliant performance and result.
It was very good. Also, a brilliant performance by Jeremy Doku. I mean, Ali, how tough is that to do? To score
both feet, same goal, both feet.
With so little space as well. The back lift, you just managed to whip it in. How tough is that to do?
The first one, arguably, you're right with that one, might even have been better because he hasn't got a lot of space. The second one, he could probably get closed down a little bit quicker with his right foot. Brilliant finish. You see from behind the goal. The first one, I think it might be Garner, Jeff, probably thinks he's got him and there's no way he can get it round with his left foot. But all he needs is a little half yard and he gets it. What a finish, man.
I saw him quoted as saying a couple of days ago, he said, I can be a real top player. All I need to do is to add goals to my game. He's only got 3 Premier League goals before last night.
You're right.
When you see finishes like that, you wonder why. Because he was fantastic.
You're right.
Fantastic.
But that's what he is. I think at times he'll drive you insane as well. He'll drive you insane because he'll give... See, as a coach or manager, you have to have complete patience and faith in players like that, wingers like that in particular, because they'll win you games, they'll drive you insane at the same time. But the value, and I keep saying it and repeat myself, and they must be sick me saying it, the value of having a wide player that can just attack people, put them out the game, go by defenders, make things happen once you get by and the whole picture changes. It's absolutely vital. I mean, the value of players like that's incredible. Yeah. But you're right, Jeff. He's been different class, and his goals were out of this world. Out of this world.
So that means that Arsenal, it's over to them. The title's in their hands. You see them dropping points. West Ham, Burnley, Crystal Palace.
By the way, absolutely they could. I mean,
no, but do you think they will, Ali?
West Ham.
West Ham is the one.
All on the West Ham.
I've said
game.
for a long time, I think Arsenal win the league. Right? For a long, long time, I've said Arsenal win the league.
But is West Ham the banana skin?
It could be, but City have still got to go to Bournemouth.
This is true.
Do you know what I mean? That's why it's the best. I've just said 2 minutes ago. This is why it's the best league in the world.
Yeah, but I think what Katie's getting at, and I'm 100% with her, is now
win 3 games.
Arsenal should win all 3. They should win all 3.
Yes.
West Ham is the only possibility. Burnley at home. Burnley are relegated.
Yes.
Burnley won't get anything. And Palace, they play Arsenal 3 days before the Conference League final. So their mind is going to be elsewhere as well. So really, if City are going to have a chance, forget the City fixtures. West Ham need to do City a massive favour. Can they do it? It's not impossible.
Oh, I don't know, 100%. It's not impossible. I saw City drop 2 points there.
Yeah.
Mavropanos scored, make it 1 each in a game where, unless I'm mistaken, it was at 2 hours or after, an hour after, Arsenal were nothing each and ended up, it was a Max Dowman moment. So to answer to your question, it's quite possible, but no, I think they'll win all games.
West Ham drew against Man United as well. Very nearly beat them too.
And should have. Brilliant.
Yeah. And I think they're unbeaten in 9 at home. So, yeah.
Another story on the back page of The Sun. Chelsea horror. This is after Derry and Gibbs-White head injuries in the Forest victory. So Forest won this by 3 goals to 1. Like, I'm just looking at a picture of Morgan Gibbs-White with a massive slash down the middle of his head.
Horrible.
So it was a collision.
Horrible.
So so Blues Jesse Derry was taken to hospital after a serious-looking injury in the defeat to Nottingham Forest. Morgan Gibbs-White and Robert Sanchez were also taken off following a collision, both left with really nasty cuts. And so there is concern for both of them. Chelsea's Derry was carried off on a stretcher after colliding with Abbott. So, I mean, two really nasty injuries there. Yeah. But as for Nottingham Forest, let's just, before we go into the Chelsea situation, fair play to Vítor Pereira. He's come in and he's done a fantastic job. And obviously they've got the Europa League semi-final second leg to look forward to as well.
They could end up having an unbelievable season with 4 managers.
Incredible, isn't it?
4 managers,
They could. I mean, let's be honest about it. I mean, if they stay up, which that looks an absolute given now in the way they're playing.
Yeah.
And they just need to. I was at the first game, not a lot between the sides. I didn't think it was the greatest game in the world, and that will suit Forest again. If they can make that the same kind of game on Thursday night at Villa Park, they could end up having an unbelievable season.
Forest have got to go into that game as favourites now, don't they? They have phenomenal momentum. 8 changes, but they've won 5 on the bounce. Villa tried the same thing and, of course, came bang on stuck against Spurs. I think all momentum is with Forest now. Yeah. And by the way, how good was Taiwo Awoniyi yesterday?
Very good.
Somebody who's barely kicked the ball.
And do you know something? I love him, Jeff, and I'll tell you why. Because you can tell his teammates love him. You know what I mean? There was a wee period, it might have been last year or early on this season, where he looks as though he needed a goal. I can't remember who it was against, and he got a goal, and every one of his teammates was right up to him. You can tell, you just can tell he's a hell of a nice fella, and he's really popular in his dressing room. But he was great, terrific yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Chelsea. Their 6th straight Premier League defeat means that they can no longer claim a top 5 spot. Is all the focus on that FA Cup final for them?
It has to be. It has to be. I mean, I disagree with what was said yesterday. I thought their attitude was stinking yesterday. I really did. From what I saw in that game, they were absolutely battered. And I mean, it's very, very strong to say they couldn't care, but it certainly that attitude looked apparent to me, which is the biggest, thing you can level at a sports person, I would imagine. The attitude just looked miles and miles off it for me, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, it did. Callum McFarlane said afterwards it wasn't down to a lack of effort, which made me think, well, what was it down to then? Is that as good as they are? Which, if that's the case, that's even more worrying than, it was abysmal, wasn't it? Katie, thank you very much indeed. That was a look at the back pages, thanks to Costa Express. Quick couple of texts. Ross from Stirling says, Ali, this Rangers team has zero identity. We're our hometown heroes. Jeff, please give the mighty Newport County who stayed up at the weekend a big shout out to the Amber Army who took 1,000 fans away to Barrow. Yeah, and by the way, well done to Christian Fuchs as well, who stepped in for his first management job, title winner with Leicester, of course, in the Premier League.
That's right.
And what a great job he's done. He says, morning, Jeff and Ali. He says, this is Carl, a United season ticket holder. He says, forgive me if it was said yesterday. However, let me congratulate Jeff on being the only pundit on sports outlets to suggest Manchester United would make the Champions League. Spot on, Jeff. Carl, whether it was said yesterday or not, you are more than welcome to repeat it as often as you like, Carl. Thank
Carl,
you.
I'm not letting him away with it. He said they'd be 4th.
I think I said top 4. Top 4. Coming up, we'll be hearing what Cundy had to say about that dismal Chelsea performance yesterday.
The Costa Coffee Break on TalkSport, sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
now that we're just about safe, I hope that we throw that game against West Ham and Callum Wilson comes and scores just about and just absolutely hammers you guys, because it would be the greatest thing in Premier League history.
That's such a small club mentality, though, mate.
The arrogance of you and your club is absolutely
What are you on about? What are you on about? I've had one phone call from Mark, who's a Tottenham fan, and now we're arrogant. What do you mean?
You are an arrogant club. You are an arrogant club.
I agree with him. I agree with him.
I mean, you're probably the biggest club in the Premier League to do nothing.
And we won the Europa League last season.
Oh, come on, Jim.
What do you mean, come on? You say we won nothing. What do you mean? We won the Europa League. That's a major trophy.
You've done nothing. Done nothing.
You ain't done nothing for 50 years, pal. You've done nothing.
Oh, yeah, I know. Listen, I know how bad we are. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, so you're talking about throwing a game. Sums you lot up. That sums you lot up. You want to throw the game against West Ham after the season that you've had?
Listen. Yeah, mate. Yeah, listen. Last 16 Champions League tie against Barcelona. We've been shocking this season, Jamie.
Yeah.
I can admit it. You guys can't. You've had a caller on. Come on, there, giving it the big lad, saying that you are safe. You are safe. You are still 2 points behind West Ham. Got to go to Aston Villa tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you've got a pretty tough fixture list remaining. With a bit of luck, Chelsea, Cundy's mob, will relegate you.
Maybe. But I mean,
with a bit of luck, and I think the whole country wants it to happen as well.
Well, that just sums you lot up, doesn't it? I mean, you're up in Newcastle. I mean, why would you?
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning, this is TalkSport Breakfast with Donald Clark. The perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Chris, a Wolves fan in Lichfield, says, morning, boys. Jeff, you'll be losing your Moan Ranger nickname. You've been so cheery this morning. Come on, up your game. Okay, Chris, I'll try.
If I must.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, just briefly then, I'll mention Noel's text. It says, Man City are a bore to watch. Noel, what? What?
Come on, Noel.
You watched last night and saying Man City are a bore to watch. I'm just not having that.
No.
Is that better, Chris? A bit of a moan? Okay. Wow, what a game to forget for Chelsea fans. Beaten 3-1 at home by much weakened Nottingham Forest, a second-string Nottingham Forest side, if you like. 6 Premier League defeats in a row for Chelsea. And on the sports bar last night, Jason Cundy didn't hold back on just how disappointed he is in the side.
I'm sat there and I'm almost like I've given up, and I'm just sitting there doing the comms thinking, what's playing out's playing out. I'm just end the season now. Just 2 games. Spurs. That's the only game, and then City, the FA Cup final. The other games, I've lost. Who we got? Liverpool away. Sunderland away.
But you know what? It is a bit embarrassing. You get slapped by Forest's B team.
It's totally embarrassing.
No, it is embarrassing.
No, it's
it really is embarrassing.
Totally unacceptable. I'm absolutely ashamed of that first half performance. Ashamed.
Yeah, I mean, never mind the Champions League, they could finish bottom half. To me, Coisty, they look like a club that has lost their soul.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but not recently. In the last, you could argue in the last couple of months, whatever it may be, Jeff. I mean, I saw them at Wembley, you know, and I thought they were a better team at Wembley and did all right at Wembley, get the cup at the semi-final.
They did all right.
Did all right, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going overboard. Excuse me. Did all right and did enough to win the game, Jeff, yep. Apart from that, their form has been appalling. Absolutely appalling. And they won't do it. But they should look at themselves in the mirror. Honestly, they should have a look at themselves in the mirror. Because, I mean, you must talk about attitude, right? I mentioned it earlier, about ability. You can have all the ability in the world. If you don't apply yourself, you're not mentally strong, you won't win anything. Chelsea look like a group of strangers running about there. I mean, and again, I'd hate the Forest fans to come on here and thinking we're not talking about Forest, because we have been and will continue to do so. They have been the polar opposite of what Chelsea have been. They've got a spirit. They've got no shortage of talent. They've got a new manager's come in, give them belief again. They're everything that Chelsea aren't at this moment in time, Forest.
And where you look at, I'd love to hear from Chelsea fans this morning. 03717223344. I mean, you look at their transfer policy and it's been hopeless. I mean, you look at the players who were on the big money players who were on that pitch yesterday: Enzo, Correa, Palmer, Delap, João Pedro, Caicedo, Lavia, Fofana, and Hato on the bench, and then you've got people who are injured, like Garnacho. Yep. I mean, seriously, they've got to take a big look at themselves. 03717223344 is the number to ring. Okay, let's turn our attention back, shall we, to what's happening this evening. Arsenal fans, well, they're going to be on a high, aren't they, after what happened at Everton last night. All focused, though, for them back on the Champions League today, the chance to make their first European final in 20 years. One apiece after the first leg away in Spain. Pleased to say, joining us now to give us an insight into Atletico is the La Liga writer for The Athletic, Dermot Corrigan. Morning, Dermot.
Yeah, a very good morning to you.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. Hope all is good.
Everything's great, Dermot.
All is good, mate. Yeah, I mean, look, Arsenal are going to be supremely confident, aren't they? With the way they've been playing and the fact they've gone to Spain and got a draw as well. But we need to remember Atletico won at Barca. Is this still dangerous for Arsenal?
Yeah, I think Atletico still believe they can do it. They thought that they were a little bit unlucky in the second half. I know there was all the controversy around the penalty, but Atletico feel they made more chances. Lookman missed a really good chance late on in the game, and they feel that if they play the same way they played in the second half last week, that they have a decent chance of going through tonight.
Tell you what, Dermot, excuse me, the great result of the weekend, Atletico, I think 2-0 victory at Valencia. I did have a look at the team Saturday night. It's pretty obvious he's looking forward to the game tonight, isn't it? Many changes did he make the other night?
Yeah, he's changed pretty much the whole team, and the focus has been on the Champions League for a good while. Julian Alvarez hasn't played in La Liga for about a month now. They know they're out of the domestic race completely, so it's a bit different from Arsenal, who have had to play every 3 days and put their best players out, where Atletico are keeping their best guys back for the Champions League.
Damn, it's a funny one, mate. I was at the game. It's funny because I enjoyed the game. I really did. I enjoyed the game over by. There was always a little bit of pressure. It was kind of, after a Lord Mayor's ball the night before the game was absolutely unbelievable. And I'm watching the game, And I actually disagree. I thought Arsenal were a better team, could have and probably should have won it. However, I look at that Atletico Madrid team, I look at Simeone, and he probably would have taken a draw before that game, because he's one of these coaches with one of these teams that can go anywhere and get a result.
Yeah, for sure. And they know that Arsenal, they like the idea of Arsenal being at home, or, well, not so much at home, but being big favourites for the game. Simeone was kind of trying to lay on the pressure after the game last week as well, saying, everybody expects Arsenal to go through now. Look at the squad they have. They've been top of they won the Champions League group. They're flying in the Premier League, all the money they've spent. He was laying it on thick, trying to push the pressure onto Arsenal and hope that maybe it gets a bit nervy tonight. Atletico will probably be happy if it's 0-0 at half-time tonight. After an hour, if it's still level, the closer it gets, maybe they can nick a goal at some stage. Somebody like Griezmann or Alvarez can pull out a bit of magic. And Simeone, that's what he hopes happens tonight. Arsenal, I guess, would hope something else happens, that they can knock the game open early, take control of things. But I have a feeling they might get a bit nervy, and that might suit Atletico.
So by the sounds of that, Dermot, you expect Alvarez to play this evening, because there's a big question mark over him, isn't there?
Yeah, he hasn't been 100% for a while now. He took a knock to his ankle from Declan Rice last week, but they're gonna send him out there for sure. He's their main guy. He's 10 goals already this season in the Champions League in 14 games, and a lot of them have been out of nothing, free kicks or bits of magic that he does himself, and they need him out there. So he won't be at his best, but he'll be up for it for sure.
How would you describe this Atletico Madrid, this particular Simeone's team, Dermot? Because I look at it and I think it's a little bit uncharacteristic of his previous teams, in the respect that I just think they've got a lot more flair players and a lot more attack-minded players than he normally has. Is that fair?
Yeah, it is for sure. Like, it's part of the transfer policy at the club over the last couple of years. They've signed a lot more flair, attacking type players, guys who they think they can sign and then maybe sell on in a few years for a lot of money. And they don't have the big, tough defenders that they had before. Hanko is quite good if he's not giving away penalties. Yeah. But they'll want to play going forward. They won't want to dig in on the edge of their 6-yard box and just head the ball away. They'll look to try and have some patches of possession in the game and go for it to an extent.
Dermot, thank you very much indeed.
Enjoy the game, Dermot. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
The La Liga writer for The Athletic, Dermot Corrigan there. Now still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on TalkSport with Travis Perkins. Manage your Travis Perkins trade account online at travisperkins.co.uk or via the Travis Perkins app.
We'll be discussing whether this was the long weekend that Arsenal well and truly cemented their names as Premier League champions, or if this goal has kept City hanging on by a thread.
It comes to Doku. He's searching up a shot. It's right-footed. It's in.
Oh my word, fathers!
In the last second of the game, with the last kick of the game, Doku has equalised, and he may just have kept the title race alive.
Yeah, may is definitely the word. We'll be diving into that title race. Jeremy Doku, the bright spark for City last night, no question. Is there any way back for them in the title race? The ball very much, it seems, in Arsenal's court. 03717 223344 is the number to ring to have your say. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on TalkSport with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
And what about Vítor Gyokeres? Do we need to give him a handshake and say, well done? The last Arsenal player to score 20-plus goals in their debut season was Alexis Sanchez, 2014-15. Wow. Only Erling Haaland and Igor Thiago have scored more goals than Gyokeres this season.
Yeah, I guess if you're still being ultra-critical, you would say...
Ultra-critical?
Is that a word? Hypercritical, you would say... Ultra-critical, there you go. You would say that he still gets his goals against the lesser lights in the Premier League. Can you bank on him to score in the big games? Could you bank on him against Atletico in midweek? Probably not. So, yeah, I think 20 goals comes with a little bit of a caveat just in terms of the class of opponent he tends to score against.
It does, but I think you also have to remember 20 goals is still 20 goals in the Premier League. If you're scoring 20 goals in the Premier League, you're doing a good job. Even though they've come against Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Burnley, Everton, Leeds, Sunderland, Tottenham, Everton, Bournemouth, and Fulham. Does that dim the achievement then?
So Bournemouth and Fulham, the only top half teams that he scored against, is that right?
Mm.
Yeah, I think it does dim the achievement because they didn't pay the money for Vítor Gyokeres to score against Leeds, with the greatest respect in the world.
Mm. Well, interesting. I think he's done a pretty good job, to be honest with you. West Ham away.
Him or Šeško, because obviously that was the balancing act between a lot of clubs in the summer.
Told you that from the beginning, Šeško. Yeah. All day. Leaner, faster, quicker, sharper in front of goal. Got something. I think Gyokeres is a good player.
Good morning, this is TalkSport Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with the Andy, the Arsenal fans. Jeff, I hate to be the guy that mentions it, but there was 6 minutes out of time last night and Doku scores in 96 minutes, 45 seconds. Look, it's a minimum. We all know.
Minimum.
It's a minimum of 6 minutes, you know? You bring subs on and things like that. I don't recall whether they did bring a sub on during the course of those 6 minutes. He said there was an incident where an Everton player was down for 20 seconds, but that was it. 6 minutes minimum. It's at the referee's discretion, Andy. Simple as that. Headlines this morning, Mikel Arteta reckons Arsenal must play like beasts tonight to reach the Champions League final. Matheus Cunha's become the latest United player to call for Michael Carrick to be given the United manager's job full-time, describing him as magic, and Jeremy Doku cracker after 96 minutes and 45 seconds, rescued a point for City against Everton. However, David Moyes was fuming his side didn't get a penalty for some significant grappling in the box by Bernardo Silva. Have a listen.
Absolutely amazing that wasn't given, because that means now if I'll set my defenders up to hug and hold the players and grapple with them and keep a hold of them, and I would not be expecting a penalty kick to be given now if that's the level we're going to. I think the referees are making it so difficult for themselves, and really we have VAR to try and clear sort of situations up, and obviously they didn't do that tonight.
Well, it's a massive bugbear, man. It's a scar on the game that so much wrestling is
grappling.
At corners, grappling, yes. If you like. I assumed at the time, when I saw it, I thought, well, the ball can't be in play.
Yeah.
Surely the ball's not in play, and that's why he hasn't given it. Now, I don't know. I didn't see the wide shot to see whether the ball was in play or not. But that was the only excuse I could think of it for it not being a penalty.
Is it straightforward, Jeff,
is it's going to take 3 or 4 referees to give penalties, and then it'll stop. Is it as straightforward as that?
I would imagine so. I mean, look, I think that somebody texted me this morning and said, we heard from PGMOL. No, I don't believe we have, but we should.
Yeah.
We should, because that's the only excuse I can think of for not giving that as a penalty would be if the ball was not in play at the time. Now, Katie is back with us. Hi again, Katie.
Yes, we're going to talk about the snooker because it was a brilliant World Championship final at the Crucible, and they've got a new champion in the Chinese sensation Wu Yiza, winning 18-17 to become the second youngest ever world champion after Stephen Hendry. I mean, what a final, Jeff, this was. Treated to a final frame decider.
It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, right throughout. You just couldn't separate them. 10-10, 12-12, 15-15. I thought Wu had blown it when he missed a straightforward black in the 33rd.
That's right.
It was 16 apiece at the time, wasn't it? But what calmness, what coolness with that clearance. But it wasn't a clearance in the end.
No.
But the 80-odd break that won him the world title for a young man, 22, astonishing, nerveless, brilliant. And I thought it was the final that snooker needed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ronnie O'Sullivan has called it, saying that Wu Yiza, this was a while ago, saying that he would be world champion. He plays such aggressive, attacking snooker, which is just brilliant to watch, Ali.
I loved it. I've got to say, I loved it. I came in at the same time as, switched over. I saw whatever it was, the 30-second frame. He misses the black into the bottom right corner. You think yourself, then it goes to the deciding frame. And I can't remember. I think Did Sean not put him in a ridiculous snooker, by the way? Was it behind the green?
Yeah.
And he played...
Found a way, didn't he?
What a shot he played. And then he snookered Sean with a similar one, and he's a little bit unlucky. He played the shot into the middle and away he went. Get a nice break off the brown. I mean, it was just captivating. I mean, I couldn't take my eyes off it.
And by the way, a lot of credit to Sean Murphy as well, who was brilliant.
Who's class.
Throughout it. And he's definitely got a career as a stand-up comedian if he wants to. Because afterwards, he was fantastic. Because he was another one. He said, look, I played Wu last year. He said, I managed to beat him that time. He said, but I thought that one day he's definitely going to be a world champion. He said, just a shame that one day happened to be today. Wasn't it? Yeah.
He's such a great personality for snooker. Let's hear from the world champion, though. Never won a match at the Crucible until this time. Now crowned world champion. Here is Wu Yiza.
Yeah, I feel so nervous. Yeah, but I'm so happy. Yeah, I just want to play for my family, for myself, for China. Yeah.
I mean, we speak about his journey up until this point, Jeff, in pursuit of actually becoming a pro snooker player. He moved to Sheffield, which is where the World Championships are held, with his father at the age of just 16. They went into a windowless flat. He had to share a room and a bed with his dad. So it's been a kind of long time coming. And he said a massive thank you to his parents who have helped him get to this point.
Yeah, I mean, he...
I thought we were going to hear from his... I'm looking at you going, we're going to... His parents are going to come flying in.
What do you look down? I was like, no, that's where you talk, Ali.
He's...
I thought we were going to get a heartbreaking story from his parents here.
Yeah.
And they were going to bring us all to tears.
You knew we were talking. I was like...
Two of the thing is, he's been in Sheffield since he was 16. He hasn't picked up the accent yet.
Yeah.
No, there's a bit of work to be done.
A bit of work to be done. And look, he's going to be a superstar. He probably already is a superstar. From the point of view of snooker, this has not been the Little Englander. Well, I hope it's not anyway. They need him as well to be speaking more fluent English, to get the message out that snooker is great. This is how good it can be.
Yeah.
And, because he is a fantastic player. This was a great World Championship. This was a wonderful World Championship final as well. And
you talk about him in global. I mentioned yesterday, the boy, is it Hossein Vafai, the Iranian? The boy, I heard Ronnie talking about him. It was John Higgins talking about him. Said he's an incredible talent as well.
Yeah, well, it's Zhao Xintong. It was the one that won the World Championship.
That's
before
right.
that, she got to back-to-back Chinese talents winning the World Championship. And you feel as though, that obviously they have to learn the language, they have to become a personality. And you feel as though maybe snooker does need a Luke Littler to just boost, the figures and the numbers and the attention on the sport.
I know you're saying. I'm looking at those, particularly those last two games that Sean Murphy was involved in. you know, the semi against John Higgins, and then the final, which, you know, came to a climax last night. I mean, that's compulsive viewing. And I'm also thinking to myself, the level of concentration that Sean Murphy must have continually during those 2 games must be incredible.
And also the intensity of the crucible. I went actually just at the start of the World Championship, and I was put on the front row just behind the pocket. So they said to me, you can't move because you'll put the players off, which you can imagine if I'm right behind the pocket. So you have to sit there, you know, silent, very still. And it's so small. It's such a small, iconic, but also intense arena, the Crucible Theatre. And it's great that it's going to be staying there for much longer. So for the players to be able to cope with that pressure, especially Wu Yiza, you know, at such a young age, is really, really, really quite impressive.
When with John on, did he said the pockets are a little bit tighter as well? I couldn't believe that. I mean, he said the pockets are a little tighter. But it's been a brilliant tournament from start to finish.
It was absolutely fantastic, and both players were a credit to the sport. He's going to take a bit of beating in years to come. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Katie, thank you very much indeed.
Thank
you. Katie.
Charlie from Shardlow says, good morning. I went to the pub yesterday to watch football. My friend hit me with the following statement. This is for you, Coisy, really. He said, when a goal is scored, the ball doesn't hit the back of the net. It actually hits the front of the net. Ali, can you get that in a commentary? And he's right, isn't he?
Oh, God. Well, if you're standing the other side, it depends where you're standing.
No, well, you're on the pitch, aren't you?
Yes.
You hit, the net is there. You shoot and score, you hit the front of the net, not the back.
Yeah, but if you're watching it from behind the goal...
Come on, get it in your next commentary. He's hit the front of the net. Go on.
I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I'm going for it.
Brilliant.
Hit the front of the net.
Darren is going to pull you to pieces. What are you talking about, Coisy?
He's right, though.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed, Charlie. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to the football last night and what it means to the title race. City fans... do you still think you've got a chance? Arsenal fans, how are you feeling now? Confident, surely. 03717223344 is the number to call to have your say next. Some news coming in for you, Coisty. TalkSport understands Unai Emery is high on Real Madrid's shortlist to become their new manager. He's under contract at Villa Park since the summer of 2029. Sources in Spain believe he could be tempted by a new challenge due to Villa's financial restrictions. You know what? I was just looking back through the internet on this, and he was linked with the Real Madrid job in March, and he was linked with it again in April. So it's no surprise, really, he's been linked with it again in May. I mean, look, it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world, would it?
No, not at all. I mean, I'll be honest with you, don't want him to go. Love him, like everything about him. Like, I think the Villa fans would be sorely, they'd be bordering on devastation at Villa Park if they lost him. But you know something, the naughty part of me would love to see him handle Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. and those boys. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be really, really interesting. And there's no surprise because he is top class. Listen, he was disappointed with the level of performance his team put in yesterday. But why would he not come into their thinking to be their next manager? Because he certainly has proven it at just about every level. Arsenal aside, he has been absolutely fantastic. But Jeff, I want him to stay.
I mean, I just wonder whether that experience at Arsenal will make him feel, rightly or wrongly, that he still has something to prove within the game. And the Real Madrid is, in many respects, the ultimate challenge, isn't it? Because so many have tried, So many have failed.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Good morning, 4 minutes past 7 o'clock. It's Tuesday, May the 5th. This is TalkSport Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Shop the upgrade event today. Get an extra £500 when you part exchange your car. Don't miss your chance to boost your valuation. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ali McCoist is with me. On the way this morning, cover your ears, Ali. Hearts fans, it might be happening after another brilliant win yesterday. Are you starting to fully believe all-time Hearts leading goal scorer John Robertson will join us? Yeah, one thing for sure. Rangers won't be winning the SPL title this season. Sorry, Coisty.
No.
Big Sam will join us to give us his take on the relegation picture, and also whether Vítor Pereira is the new survival specialist in the Premier League. We'll talk boxing with former world cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew. Fabio Wardley putting his WBO heavyweight title belt on the line against Daniel Dubois this Saturday. And of course, we'll probably mention Everton to Tony as well. But right now, it was a huge night in the title race as Man City threw it away at Everton.
Tonight, the
headline story is all about the title. The subplot is the race for Europe. Monday night drama.
First half, there's not easy great chances the way they defend.
88% possession, Steve.
Well, they're relentless in their work, aren't they? And they create these overloads in a wide area.
Doku's on the edge of the D, tries a left-footed shot into the corner. What a goal!
The pleasing thing was that we were only 1-0 down at half-time, and we proved that we were much better in the second half.
And now it's come through the Barry, who slips it home. What a mistake by Gay!
We know it. Everton always has been tough.
It's towards an impact. O'Brien rises and heads it home. Hold the back page. This might be the moment.
He did say set pieces could be vital for Everton this evening.
Here comes the Barry, who taps it home. It's 3-1 Everton, and Manchester City's title charge is falling apart on Merseyside.
We took what we could. We just couldn't quite see it out.
Haaland going through the middle, trying to get them back in the game. Oh, he smashed it over Pickford and scored.
The Premier League never ever surprises you.
It comes to Doku. It's right-footed. It's in.
My
it's scored in the last second of the game with the last kick of the game. May just have kept the title race alive at the end of a stunning 98 minutes. Arsenal, win all your games and you'll be champions, because it's finished Everton 3, Manchester City 3.
Yeah, brilliant from Doku, but it wasn't quite enough. I loved Haaland's attitude as well, but City, I mean, defensively fell apart in the second half, and it was a massively long period in the second half as well where they did not have a shot on target. So, you know, I mean, proper battling David Moyes' start performance from Everton with no shortage of skill in there as well. And they could have scored more in the second half. Here's a ridiculous statistic, by the way. Donnarumma, 10 yellow cards this season. 9 for City and 1 for Italy. Unbelievable. He's a goalkeeper.
That's ridiculous. I take it they must be for dissent and moaning.
Yeah.
Surely.
Well, you know, I mean, trust me, as a master of moaning, I can recognise a fellow master of moaning, and Donnarumma, he is right in there. I mean, he was on his knees with Michael Oliver yesterday, and and he hadn't been, not in my opinion, he hadn't been fouled when Jake O'Brien headed at that ball.
I know. But I don't know if you noticed, they can get quite emotional, these Italians, to be fair. They do sometimes go slightly over the top, don't they?
Yeah.
But that is, I mean, you told me that 2 minutes ago, I couldn't believe it. 10 bookings for a goalkeeper.
Incredible, isn't it? Right. Look, let's reflect on what happened last night with TalkSport's Manchester correspondent Mickey Gray. Morning, Mickey.
Good morning, Mickey.
Jeff, Steve, good morning to you. How are you doing?
I bet you never picked up 10 bookings your career, Mickey.
10 bookings or 10 goals. I never got anywhere near it.
So what happened to City in that second half?
Comfortable. They probably felt a little bit too comfortable, Jeff, but you come out in the second half. Actually, I've seen it quite a few times with City this season, in the first half of the season, that they probably thought that they were going to pick up all 3 points to get to the second half of football matches, and they switch off. I've been to the Etihad too many times and seen it too many times where they've had to go and maybe score a late goal to win football matches, but did not expect that last night. I really didn't. I think everybody thought that Man City were the side that had all the momentum, but that was difficult for them last night. It really was, because they needed to win every football match till the end of the season and win that Premier League, but now it's back in Arsenal's favour.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Mickey. I mean, I think the game summed up. I really do. I think it summed up the top flight. Is that why? Do you think that's why? For me, it's the best league in the world by a country mile. I really do. I'm not saying they're the best teams in it. Obviously, you look at what's happening, perhaps tomorrow night in particular. But I think Everton epitomised just what's good in the league.
Well, I mean, they've got something to play for, Coisty. Yeah. I think that was the main thing as well. Everton, they've still got a chance of European football, and I think that will be an incredible season for David Moyes and his side. But yeah, I mean, in the Premier League, as we know, anybody can beat anybody. If you switch off, people will capitalise on that, and they'll go and win football matches. Just look at the run that Bournemouth are on at the moment. I mean, they've been absolutely sensational. And Everton have got players who can win football matches for you last night. I mean, and Dy's missed sitter himself last night.
Yeah.
There was other chances that they could have put in the back of the net in that second half. I just don't know what happened to Man City, whether, you know, they felt the pressure, which I think everybody probably expected Arsenal to feel it because they haven't got over the line over the last few seasons in the final 6 or 7 games of the Premier League season. But it was City who felt the nerves last night. Didn't expect it. And, I mean, Jeremy Doku scored 2 outstanding goals for them last night. To help them out, maybe even just to get that point come up towards the end of the match. But it was all about Everton in that second 45 minutes. And I think David Moyes in his press conference at the end of the game, he looked relaxed. He looked as if he maybe expected that from his players because they didn't play well in the first half. But City looked really nervy for some strange reason.
Yeah, I mean, they did. Look, we look back at that transfer window. And the January transfer window and said how absolutely brilliantly City did with Marc Guéhi and Antoine Semenyo. But obviously Guéhi made the mistake that encouraged the comeback last night. Semenyo looks like he's feeling the pressure and not performing as we know he can. Is it the case, maybe, Mickey, that neither of those two have really been in this situation before and they're feeling it more than most?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, they're 2 wonderful signings. I think we all agree on that. And it was great business for them to do in January. And Semenyo has got the goals for City since he's came through the door in January. And I think Marc Guéhi's obviously made them better at the back. But for somebody like Marc Guéhi to make a mistake like he did last night with no pressure on him at all was very, very strange. Did not expect to see that, I have to say. But yeah, maybe you've got a point. You know, they've obviously not been involved in sides that have been chasing down a title. They'll obviously want to win it themselves so much because they're in a dressing room that is kind of littered with trophies, if you like, every single player. And I think I've asked Antoine Semenyo that question myself. So, you know, to go and win the Carabao Cup was a big thing for him. But Marc Guéhi, yeah, you're right. I mean, just go and win a Premier League title is a huge thing. So maybe he is feeling a little bit of pressure.
Here's one for you. Mickey, ever think about this, right? See, from City's point of view, do they need Arsenal to win tonight and go through tonight?
Well, you can imagine those Arsenal players after last night, Costy. I mean, my goodness, they'll be absolutely buzzing from that game last night. Going into the second leg against Atletico Madrid. It'll take a lot out of them. Absolutely it will, because to get to a final in the Champions League, they're going to be feeling those nerves that the City players were feeling last night. But if they get it done, absolutely, because this running now is absolutely fantastic. It really is. It can go either way, but I mean, you can imagine the momentum that those Arsenal players are feeling after last night's result. It's huge.
Yeah. Mickey, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks, fellas. See you later. Have a good day.
You too, mate.
The tricky run-in is, in many respects, Man City. Brentford at home.
Yeah.
Which is not easy. Brentford have not got a bad record against City, you know.
Well, it was a couple of seasons they beat them home and away, wasn't it?
Yeah, they did. And I think it's only been one occasion where there's been more than one goal in it.
Is that right?
Between the two sides, since Brentford got to the Premier League.
And then they got to Bournemouth.
Yeah, Palace as well. Got Palace at home. The minds might be elsewhere, of course they might. Bournemouth away.
That's the one.
Andoni Araiola's final home game in charge of Bournemouth. Hello. And then Aston Villa at home in the final game. Look, it's a tricky running, that's for sure. Yeah. Big thanks to Mickey Gray there. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to Chelsea. Are they a club that has lost its soul? And who on earth would take that managerial job now? We'll discuss that next.
Pods. I am relieved. Do you know what's funny? Obviously, being on this incredible station that we're part of.
Yes.
I meet lots of people out there say, I love you and Pars on a Sunday. But the Spurs contingents, they look at me as like, are we going to stay up? When people ask me, are we going to stay up? It's like, I've got the answers. Yeah. They think like, I'm telling you, and I've been saying it on Inside Spurs.
I have to say, when I go to games, that's the main question I get asked. Because who's it going to be, Spurs or West Ham?
On the Inside Spurs podcast, I've been the positive one. Abby, Sonny, talking about you two.
Negative Nellies.
Negative Nellies, right?
You can't have it, mate. You can't have it in a relegation fight.
I said it on the podcast this week. Do you remember Euro 96, the night before England-Scotland? Uri Geller was on Fantasy Football going, if there's a penalty, we move the ball together. Touch the ball.
About Uri Geller.
No?
No, I've told you, I've got history with him. We got history at Reading, me and him. No, I'm not going to go there. I want to talk about Spurs. What a performance. What sometimes you bring in a manager and he earns his corn. I'm not being funny. Tudor, right? He wouldn't know what going to Villa would be about, really.
No.
You know, he's seen it on the TV, but he hasn't experienced it. Of course, De Zerbi's been there. He knows what's going to happen. He knows where they are. They've played a European game. He knows he's got to put a performance of experienced players right on it and give them not an inch.
And that's what
they done.
Yeah.
And then did it brilliantly. Played Gallagher in the 10. He closed everything down. And Richarlison, by the way, that was one of his best performances for Spurs in terms.
Good morning, this is TalkSport Breakfast. It's, 7:18 on Tuesday, May the 5th. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Another big twist in the Scottish title race yesterday. We'll be taking a look at that with Hearts' leading goal scorer, all-time leading goal scorer, John Robertson, very shortly. Let's take a quick call, though, shall we? Andrew is a Hearts fan. Good morning, Andrew.
Morning, Andrew.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. How are we?
We're fine, pal. We're fine.
You sound very bright.
I bet you're buzzing this morning, pal.
I tell you what, there's going to be a big come down for this if it doesn't happen. I'm absolutely on top of the world, eh?
Well, I was going to ask you, pal. I'm guessing, listening to you, and I might be wrong. You weren't you weren't around. You remember long enough, long in the tooth to remember 86 when you probably should have won it. But I just feel I remember that. Obviously, I remember that well. But I just feel there's a difference this time, pal. You know, I don't know what it is, but it just smells different.
You're right. I'm not old enough to remember that, Ali. I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm going to tell you, the last time I had the first ever time I can remember nerves like I felt last night was the 1998 Cup final.
I remember that as well, obviously.
I can remember you would remember that. You came on, didn't you? But that's the last time I had nerves like that watching a game of football last night. But the guys just seem to keep digging it out, and I can't believe it's still happening. That we're still sitting here in May talking about this.
And credit to those Hearts fans, by the way. I mean, they got second half. They got right behind their team.
I think for the word go, and you've got your man on the pitch singing, it was electric. And of course, the goal from Rangers knocked the stuffing out of us a bit in the first half. And I'll be honest, at half time, I was just sitting there thinking to myself, just get the point, just stay top of the league, and you're still in a chance. And for us to get the turnaround like that, Lawrence Shankland, what a man! Lawrence Shankland, what a strike that was. What a strike from Shankland.
It was a brilliant finish, mate. I think, do you know what I think about Lawrence Shankland? I think he's probably the best finisher in the country by a mile. And he's probably he's probably the best natural finisher Scotland have had probably since Chris Boyd, to tell you the truth. I think he's different class. And I think one of the things, and I said to Derek, I was talking to Derek the other week, Andrew, I said to him, what really surprised me, pleasantly surprised me, was the way you handled the loss of him and Devlin earlier on in the season, pal, you know?
Aye, certainly, yep. And the coming back, and obviously he's got a summer to look forward to, hopefully, and he's doing himself nothing but favours playing the way he is. And do you know what? As a professional, the boy speaks well, he plays well, and he's an absolute leader. And if there's a reason that Hearn and Midlothian are where they are right now, you take nothing away from it. It's because we've had a special player like that in our team, driving our football team forward to this league this season.
Andrew, enjoy the week.
Well done, mate.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
All the best.
Brilliant. Hearts fans, not surprisingly, on cloud nine at the moment. What a contrast to Chelsea supporters. Let's turn our attention to Chelsea now, a club that looks like it's lost its soul.
And whether it's Liam Rosenior or Callum McFarlane, their Premier League form is just absolutely poor. Chelsea being booed off at half-time, booed off by the few that are left at full-time. Not a great day for Chelsea.
I don't think it's a lack of commitment. I see these lads every day. They've prepared for the game, they're focused, they want to fight, they want to compete, they want to try and get the club back to where it should be.
Because you haven't got that much experience in the squad, you're finding a situation where you've got no one in the squad that's almost like, lads, what are we doing?
We need to get an experienced manager in, and McFarlane doesn't have a pro licence to permanently manage a football club. So what do we expect?
6 consecutive Premier League defeats for Chelsea now. Where on earth do they go next? The threat of not making the Champions League next season, well, they look absolutely to have virtually no chance of winning the Champions League, unless Aston Villa, of course, go on and qualify for the Champions League by winning the Europa League. Who can they attract as their next manager? I mean, there are just so many issues. Joining us now to have his say on this, a very good morning to founder and host of Chelsea Fan TV, Alex Harris. Morning, Alex.
Morning, Alex.
Good morning.
Alex couldn't help but, raise an eyebrow to when Callum McFarlane says it's not down to a lack of commitment, not down to a lack of effort. So what the heck is it then? Is this as good as they are?
I mean, I can't sit here and blame McFarlane at this point. He joined Chelsea last year. He's never seen a good Chelsea. He's never seen a Chelsea that's competed for league titles. He's never seen a Chelsea that's consistently, been winning matches. And that has been the standard. And if you don't win matches consistently, you're at risk of losing your job. So, no, I'm not going to sit here and blame McFarlane. He's been thrown in the deep end, just like Rosenior was. It gets worse every week. A new low, a new record that we break, a new way to embarrass ourselves. Where do I start? So Thiago Silva was at the match yesterday. One of the best defenders that we've ever had at this football club. We've gone from signing players on free transfers like Thiago Silva to having players like Tosin in this squad. I've got fans coming up to me yesterday saying, I feel ripped off with the Tosin deal, even though we didn't pay a penny for him. We feel like we've had our pants pulled down. We've gone from having one of the greatest ownerships in world football to being run by private equity. We've gone from being a team that used to laugh at Arsenal to being almost jealous of Arsenal in terms of the fact that they're competing for the league. We invited Tottenham's manager, Roberto De Zerbi, to come and sit in the executive director's box. What are we doing? Like, why are you inviting the Tottenham? Like, I fully appreciate if you want to give some hospitality to Thiago Silva or Thomas Tuchel. These guys are club legends in their own way. We haven't even played Tottenham yet, and we're inviting De Zerbi. He's up there with Sam Jewell and all the other directors. I know they have a relationship from his time at Brighton. But I find it embarrassing, if I'm honest with you. And why? Yeah, that's the God honest truth. Why? Like, if he wanted to come and watch this match, he did not have to come and sit with our directors. He could have sat anywhere else, but he had to come and sit with our boys. I mean, it just shows that we're so out of touch with the fans. And anyone that wants to criticise fans that's still going to watch this, I mean, I'm doing it. And this is just part of being a football fan, isn't it? And then the argument is, why don't you boycott? Well, what am I supposed to do when I've already paid all my money and I'm a season ticket holder? Am I just going to not turn up? So I find that argument very strange. But I mean, just on the football side of things, yeah, it's a total lack of effort. Total lack of effort. There are a few players, in my opinion, that are trying. I think Enzo's trying, Enzo Fernandez. I just don't think he's a player that's able to carry the team on his own. He's not good enough to do that. And I think João Pedro, for me, also gave it a good crack yesterday. I mean, Jesse Derry, I think he's 18 years old, making his Premier League debut. And the commitment from him in that first half was by far ahead of every single senior player. We've got players like Tosin. What's he, 6'6", 6'5"? Can't win a header. And then I've got Jesse Derry putting his body on the line, winning that penalty, only for what? Palmer to miss another one. You know, and we're getting to the stage now with Cole Palmer where I'm thinking, you know what? We used to quite enjoy the fact that he'd sort of shrug his shoulders, but then he'd go and score a hat-trick or whatever it was and win us all these games. But when you don't do anything and it still looks like you don't care, that's not a good sign. That's not funny. So, I mean, there's a lot of serious conversations to be had at Chelsea. And I'm not even thinking about what managers we could get. You know, people are saying Xabi Alonso, Iriola, as if we have the opportunity to dictate who comes to us. We have to persuade them. That's the reality. We have to sell this project to them because we are so far down the pecking order now in terms of any role in English football. You know, we're basically in the same position of Bournemouth. Why would Iriola join Chelsea at this point in time? Xabi Alonso is at Real Madrid. He's going to have other options. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty embarrassed to be honest with you. Not to mention we've got no money. And I say it again, I think the best solution for Chelsea in the coming years is that we get taken over by Aries management because we're not only a mess on the pitch, we're a mess off the pitch. We've borrowed so much money. We're in a lot of debt. We owe money to JP Morgan, Bank of America. We've taken out a PIK loan, which means that if we can't pay Aries management the money we owe them, they can take over the club. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they do it because I'm just embarrassed to be a Chelsea fan at this point in time. And I don't see any way back under this ownership.
Alex, thanks for taking the time to call McCoist and Stelling councillors, mate.
You got it off your chest a bit, Alex, anyway.
Cheers, guys.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, mate. By the way, stop it. He's a football fan who's in pain.
By the way, I've got three questions written down there from I closed the page after his opening statement.
But somebody just texted here and said, "Are you guys still there?"
Oh, Alex, that man needs checked on the hour, every hour.
He does.
Alex, man.
Alex, thanks very much indeed, mate.
Alex.
We get your misery. By the way, one thing I would take issue with, though, was when Alex said that, we're in the same position as Bournemouth now. Only in your dreams, mate. Only in your dreams as Bournemouth are top six.
I was dying to ask you a couple of questions there.
Ian from Halifax says Chelsea are just back where they always used to be before they won the lottery. They always used to be mid-table mediocrity. So it's Ian from Halifax. Not a lot of sympathy out there as far as football fans are going. Amir, by the way, says if Arsenal did what City did yesterday, the entire football world would be calling them bottlers. Your platform is so biased. Amir, you need to listen, mate. Listen. Coming next, we'll be turning our attention back to the Scottish title race with Hearts legend John Robertson.
Gentlemen, good morning. Calling all the way from Sydney, Australia.
Good morning.
Lovely to speak to the supply teachers today as the headmaster and Principal White and Jordan not working today. Alex, you might remember me. I rang up just before the Europa Cup final last year and you were going on about victory parades and buttons and things like that. And we still managed to beat you in an awful game, but we had Doku, Kulusevski, Bergvall and Madison. And I did hear Adam Nathan, who you quoted, who is the purveyor of the finest gin and tonics in North London, said that you were kind of veritably choking in your quinoa bowl during the Brentford-West Ham proceedings.
He definitely doesn't eat quinoa.
Well, I'm being ironic, but the reality is this is the first month that I've gone to work in Sydney with a veritable spring in my step for quite a while. Full credit to De Zerbi. We've got a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I did speak to Simon and Jim 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said that we were down, and we're not there yet. We've got a long way to go, but De Zerbi, in a short period of time, he's been clever. He hasn't imposed De Zerbi ball on them. He's gone about with the vibes, as the kids would say, boosting the morale. And, Tudor, much maligned. We got them running and fitter again, and he gave them a base for De Zerbi to play the way that they did yesterday. So, and that's for all the West Ham fans crying into their jelly deals this morning, as other messages that you've got.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning to you. 7:35 it is, Tuesday, May the 5th. This is TalkSport Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Buy a used car, get a free 2-year service plan, plus get an extra £500 when you part exchange. Shop the Upgrade event. Today, I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me as well. Just reading that Joe Murphy,
Roberto De Zerbi to come and sit
goalkeeper,
in the executive director's box. What are we doing? Like, why are you inviting the Tottenham? Like, I fully appreciate if you want to give some hospitality to Thiago Silva or Thomas Tuchel.
All right, Alex, we get the message. Poor old Alex. He's having his say, and he did it brilliant. I was going to say Joe Murphy the Tranmere goalkeeper retiring after a 29-year career.
No way.
I haven't checked his age. I think he's something like 44.
They stayed up as well, didn't they? They got a result. Was it last game?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they stayed up, which was great. Smarty says, Chelsea, I was there yesterday. It was embarrassing. No leaders on the pitch. Jesse Derry was the best player on the pitch for sure. Is there any news on him? Well, he's conscious. He's talking. He's recovering in hospital. It was pretty horrible. Wasn't as far as he was concerned, but a lot of Chelsea fans would tell you, he was putting in the effort where some of the others were possibly not. Martin says, think that Chelsea fan could get a job as a pearl diver. He didn't take breath. Adam, the Benfica fan, says, spoke like an expert guest, shouldn't be ridiculed. Adam, completely agree with you. Okay, let's move on to what's been happening.
It's still funny, Adam.
Yeah, well, it was funny, yeah. Yeah, I don't think any of the Chelsea fans found things funny that happened at Stamford Bridge, though. Unfortunately, Alex certainly didn't. Look,
no, not at all. Just because we're having a laugh doesn't mean we're ridiculous.
Of course, yeah. I mean, Lee, the Liverpool fans, just said Alex has made me feel a whole lot better about Liverpool's troubles. Look, Scotland. Celtic beat Hibs away on Sunday. Of course, that was only a tiny part of the story. But Hearts pulled off a massive victory over Rangers by 2-1 they were behind in the game. And to be brutally honest, Rangers looked completely in control to me. So massive credit to Derek McGuinness for managing to turn it round in the second half. And the dream is about to become reality, or so it would seem. At the moment, Hearts 3 games away from the title. To give us more, let's bring in Hearts all-time leading goal scorer, John Robertson. Morning, John.
Robbo, how are you?
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Alistair. How are you this morning?
Very well, pal. Very well. You in good form, I'm guessing? I can see that wee smile on your face, Robbo.
Well, it was a nice drive up the A9 last night after that result, Ali. That's all I can say.
What did you think, Pat? I mean, I watched, I thought the first half, I thought Hearts started pretty well, and then Rangers effectively dominated the game. And then Hearts' second half just thoroughly deserved it. I mean, they showed why they're top of the league, and I think we'll go on and win.
Bang on, Ali. I think Hearts come out the traps well, and it looked good, but then Rangers were tremendous for half an hour. They really exposed Hearts. They passed in round through them. Hearts very, very fortunate, I think, to get in 1-0. I thought Rangers could have put them to the sword, but you've seen it all along, Ali. You've seen it all year. Celtic, Rangers, they only play for 45 minutes at times. And fair play, Derek showed why he's the manager of the year. He tweaked at half-time, brought in Craig Spittle, Craig Spittle come on, and he was magnificent second half. Played really, really well, turned it around. 2 sensational finishes, and Jack Butland had a wonder save to keep Rangers in it. And there's an atmosphere, there's a belief amongst the squad. There's certainly a lot more belief amongst the fans because we knew how big that result is, but we're Hearts fans. We're still weary. There's still work to be done, and this weekend could be massive because our friends across in the West could do us a real turn.
Look, if Hearts do get over the line, John, I mean, just how big an achievement will it be? Can you sort of put it in perspective for us?
This is bigger than Leicester winning the league, in my humble opinion. You've got 2 absolute juggernauts of the game up here. Since Graham Souness came in under Ali's time, he changed the landscape of Scottish football. Nobody's been able to get anywhere near Rangers or Celtic. Listen, I get Hibs fans won't be happy because of the rivalry. That's natural. Like Spurs fans won't be happy if Arsenal win the title. But for Scottish football, it would be great. I think it would be healthy. And more importantly, it would be deserved if they can get over the line. I mean, Hearts fans are still hurt from '86. That's in the back of their minds at how quickly things can change. But this group of players seem to have a real belief. They have a real sort of mentality that they're not beaten. That's 3 games in a row they've come from behind against 3 really good teams. We go to Motherwell on Saturday night, and it's another really, really tough match. But Celtic now appear to be the other horse in the race. They play Rangers on Sunday. They play Motherwell themselves away on Wednesday. So it's still all to play for. And the dream's edging ever closer. We keep saying the big 2 words for this group of players and for the manager: immortality awaits. But this is for me even bigger than Leicester City winning the English Premiership.
I'll tell you one thing I will say, John. I can detect, particularly down here. Everybody, I remember Leicester win the league, and literally anybody that wasn't a supporter of another, everybody wanted Leicester to do it, and I get the same feeling, particularly down here about Hearts and north of the border, and it's understandable. I don't think it's I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Here's my question for you, mate. Right? What's the difference between this side and 86? Because if I was going to be brutally honest, you pal, I think you're the better team in 86, to tell you the truth. And that's just my opinion, looking at it, playing against the team in 86, looking at the one just now. The team just now are absolutely incredible. And they've got a spirit and a desire, and they've got key players in key areas that have been brilliant. But I actually think 86 might just have been a better side. What's the difference with this team?
The difference is the similarities are they keep winning. That was the thing in 86, we had a tremendous 27-game unbeaten run. But we didn't get it over the line, Ali. It's simple as that. You know yourself, you were there, you're in the Rangers team at the time. Celtic won 10 of their last 11 games. And they steamrolled St Mirren. A lot of conspiracy theories about that game, but it was down to us. At the end of the day, we didn't get it over the line at Dundee. I think there's a lot of similar traits, the mentality, the togetherness, like a band of brothers. They seem to get on with each other. They seem to revel in each other. They've got a real, I think they're fortunate. They've got a tremendous manager who's a brilliant fit, gets the club, gets what it means. He knows how to set up his teams. And at the top end of the pitch, they've got two incredible goal scorers. And for me, it goes back to what we said at the time. If they get over the line, it's got to be great for Scottish football. I say that. I know Hibs fans won't be happy, but it shows Hibs, it shows Aberdeen, Dundee United's this world, that if you get the right mix, the right manager in, and you get the right mix, the boys at the back are Scottish boys, Halkett and Finlay. Middle of the park, Beningame has been excellent. Mark Leonard's been great. Devlin. But the top end is where it's been. Kyrgios, he's fallen off a wee bit, but he was terrific second half last night. Shankland and Braga have been magnificent all season. So it's there. There's similarities, but I hope that's where the similarities stop. I just want this team to get over the line, to see the relief on a lot of fans' faces after the game last night, covering the game for Sky. Was tremendous. The fans are starting to dare to dream, as you say, because think about it. It'll be the first time in 40 years since any other club won the title, and the first time in 66 for Hearts in particular. And it would just, I think it would just give. I know I'm biased, blooming hell, of course I am, but I just think it would give Scottish football a real shot in the arm, because you're right. For the first time in many, many years, people south of the border are talking about a 3-horse race for the title. Somebody else is in there.
Amazing stuff. 3 games away, touching distance, Robbo. Enjoy it, mate, if you possibly can.
Great to see you, pal. Speak soon.
No problem at all, pal. Lovely to hear from you. Take care.
Take care, Robbo.
Bigger than Leicester, eh? Remember Leicester 5,001 when they won the Premier League title. But that's how they're seeing it in Scotland.
I've had a wee think about it. I'm not sure it's as daft, honestly.
No.
It's some story. It's some story.
And it is literally within touching distance. Ash, the Newcastle fan, says that Chelsea fan, Alex, has just made Andy Jacobs look like the happiest football supporter on the planet. Thanks, Ash. All right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on TalkSport with Travis Perkins. Go big on landscaping with Travis Perkins. Find everything you need at travisperkins.co.uk.
We'll be joined by Adrian Durham to look ahead to Arsenal's game against Atletico Madrid this evening, and look back, of course, at the events between Everton and Man City last night. The man behind the crucible, Barry Hearn, will be here to discuss that famous Wu Yiza win last night. And we'll be joined by Tony Bellow as we look ahead to the WBO heavyweight title fight, some fight too, between Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley at the weekend. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on TalkSport with Travis Perkins. From fence panels to decking or paving packs to topsoil, Travis Perkins has all your landscaping needs covered.
requesting sports story of the day is to Super Ali McCoist in Ask Ali. I've got one of mine just quickly, Coisty, to start things off. Ces Fabregas is currently manager of Como. They are 5th in Serie A. He's been speaking today saying, of course, he wants to manage in the Premier League.
Yes.
Do you see Ces Fabregas as the next manager of Chelsea?
Cool. If you're Chelsea fan, you'd bite your hand off for that. If you're Ces Fabregas, I think you're weighing up that situation extremely carefully because of what's going on up at the top. I mean, surely he's done a great job there, man. I mean, what a job at Como. Fantastic. And he will. I don't think there's any doubt that he'll manage in the top flight in England sooner rather than later. But is Chelsea right now the perfect job for Ces Fabregas? As I mentioned earlier, I mean, Chelsea fans would probably be salivating at the prospect of him coming and taking it, and so they should be. But I think there's warning signs at Chelsea. He'll have looked what's happened recently, Jeff, and he can't have failed to have noticed that it might not just be the perfect environment for him to start his career in England.
No.
Is that fair or harsh?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I just look and think, okay, where is he going? Good morning to you. 7:49. This is TalkSport Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Paul and Commentary said, if you're being objective, the main difference this year in Scotland was Wilfred Nancy. He destroyed Celtic in a very bad time there. You could also say the start of the season that Rangers had one win in their first 8. But you can't take anything away from Hearts.
No, nor should you. By the way, before we get any further, you know, Hearts have continued to beat Rangers and Celtic when the managers have changed. So let's put that into perspective. Like I said, they played Rangers and Celtic 7 times, won 5, I think, and drawn 1. Hey, so come on, let's put the whole thing into perspective.
Well, can you imagine if they can win at Motherwell at the weekend and
that's their
Rangers
game.
Can take anything from Celtic?
That wins them it.
Whoa.
That wins them it. I'll tell you right now, that'll win them it. Yeah. Because if that happens, they've got a home game against Falkirk to win the title.
Yeah.
And they'll be 411,000 at Tynecastle.
Yeah, but I tell you what, of course, their last game is at Celtic. They could be lifting the SPL trophy at Celtic Park. Whoa, that would hurt, wouldn't it, if you're a Celtic fan?
If you're a Celtic fan,
yeah, you've got a smirk on your face. You're a bad man.
You're worse for putting the idea. I never had thought in my head, Jeff.
So what do we know this morning? A chaotic 13-minute spell could have cost Man City their Premier League title. 6-goal thriller at Everton last night saw Pep's side drop a couple of crucial points, could have been 3, and handed distinct advantage to Arsenal. As Alisson enters the final year of his contract at Anfield, reports suggest that Juventus have made the Liverpool goalkeeper their top target for this summer. Can Liverpool afford to lose any more experience, Coisty?
No is the answer to that. I don't think so. Do you?
No.
Particularly in that area.
Yeah, I certainly don't.
He might just be their key player in the whole squad.
Yeah. No, I think it's really, really important to hold on to him. Look, they've lost significant big-name players, haven't they, last season, and will do again during the course of this summer. Surely they want to hold on to the man who is still deservedly their number one keeper. Ahead of the huge semi-final second leg between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid tonight, Gyokeres, the former Gunners defender, told H&J yesterday Mikel Arteta deserves more credit for the job he's done in North London.
Of course, you can always debate on what should have done, what should have they done, if Mikel is the right man. People will always discuss because this is football. But in all fairness, what they've been doing for the last 5-6 years is phenomenal. You know, they've been the team that has been at the top of the table for such a long time. And, you know, it's funny because I haven't won anything, but of course, football is a sport that is driven by results, you know, so your result and the silverware you will bring at the end of the day will make you a champion, of course, will make you a great team, of course. But in between all of that, from point A to point B, there is this process that goes on. And the process that Arsenal is doing for the last 6 years is amazing.
Gyokeres, the former Arsenal defender, on the job that Mikel Arteta has done. Right, time now for our coffee break with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on TalkSport, sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
Crossovers between sports, not something that we usually see, but we are seeing, if you believe what you read, down at Brighton, because Brighton have taken a very different approach. They've introduced a crossover that directly impacts their tactical preparation. When I saw this, I thought this was an April Fool's, you know, and then I realised it was May, so probably not. Anyway, Katie Shanahan is back with us. Tell us more, Kate.
Yes, so Brighton have turned to MMA fighter Christian Ekelin, known as the King of Frankfurt, to help improve defending set pieces and lose their nice guy image. Fabian Hertzler says there are different ways of using your body to win 1v1 duels, especially in set pieces. And an MMA fighter always has 1v1 duels. So their job is to find a way to beat their opponent, and it's working. Brighton have conceded the fewest goals from set pieces, 5 in the Premier League. So, Jeff, do you think now managers are accepting that wrestling in the box has become part of the game? For example, we even saw it yesterday, didn't we, with Bernardo Silva wrestling Merlin rolled to the ground?
Yeah, well, I hope not, because it's a blot on football. In my view, there is no justification. Look, I having seen that last night, a lot of fans are outraged that a penalty wasn't given there because you can't get anything any more clear than that. I wonder whether the ball was in play. A lot of people have told me that the ball was in play at the time, in which case it is the clearest penalty. And Coisty said it earlier on. What we need is not experts to be brought into the game to try and show you how to grapple more effectively, which seems to be what we're talking about. We need to get rid of it. We need to get it out of football completely.
100%.
And it wouldn't take much, would it, Al?
No, just take a referees, 3 or 4 referees say bang penalty, and that's it, finished. I mean, that is it, finished. Because they're breaking the laws of the game. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you're holding or pulling somebody back, tugging their jersey, people are getting sent off now, right, Katie? People are getting sent off, Jeff, for a slight tug of a hair, right? Now, whether we agree with that or not, it doesn't matter. You're getting a red card for that. Some of the stuff going on in the box is 10 times worse than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, there are 2 sides to every story as well, because equally, I'd like people to stay on their feet a bit more, because some players go down, you know, a breath of wind, and bang, they're on the floor. You know, and that's equally unacceptable. You know, we want to see football. This is the game that we love, and these are things which are alien to me. I don't want to see, you know, what's he called from Frankfurt? You know?
Christian Ekelin.
Yeah,
from the King of Frankfurt.
King of Frankfurt. Well, get back to Frankfurt, pal.
I was going to say, Ali, what would you do if you found out you were having a MMA fighter coming to training? Imagine we had an MMA fighter come in here.
You must have had people who are more fearsome than MMA fighters there.
I was about to say, I had 4 or 5 in my dressing room that would fancy their chances against them, by the way. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest. Wouldn't bother me in the slightest. No, listen, I don't know the full ins and outs, but come on. I mean, is he going to tell them how to move? Is he going to tell them how to position their body? I don't know the full ins and out. It just seems totally bizarre.
It does. I mean, I tell you, just looking back, I'm thinking, imagine if Everton in the past had done it. Duncan Ferguson v MMA fighter. Now I'd have paid to see that. Not on the football pitch, but, you know, and I know who my money would have been on to come out on top as well. And it would not be, wouldn't have been the King of Frankfurt.
I've got to say to you, he was one of the lads that sprung to mind when I was talking about boys in my dressing room.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's got us thinking this morning. MMA fighters coming to training. What was the weirdest drill you ever did in training?
Oh, crikey. Oh, we did a bit of yoga once. I wouldn't suppose that'd be one of the strangest things, but we did a bit of yoga once.
How did that go down? Did everyone enjoy it?
One or two movements that caused a bit of flatulence once. But,
You were the one doing the headstand, weren't you? Up at the front.
There's all sorts of strange noises coming from people that I hadn't heard from before, to be brutally honest with you.
Chuddy says, players are clever. They grapple, then let go just before the corner is taken. Not much the ref can do. I love it. Chuddy, you do not love it.
He does not love it.
You are winding.
He can't love it.
Yeah. Katie, thank you very much.
Thanks,
indeed. That was all thanks to Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on TalkSport. Sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
2 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to last night's football and just how excited Arsenal fans should be this morning. Let's squeeze one more in. Here's the fourth.
Morning, Sean. Ali here, big Arsenal fan. I know you love a curry just like me, but I want to know, what's the best order at a curry house for Sean Dice?
Ali, it's a fair shout. Well, it always starts with Kingfisher or Cobra, obviously. Poppadoms, standard. Mixed platter sometimes. I do the full mixed grill kind of platter. But not for me. I mean, what I do, get it on the table. Everyone has a munch. Everyone dives in. I do like the hot ones. If I'm in the mood, which is rare because it's so hot, is a chicken tikka or a prawn naga, which is incredibly hot. Jalfrezi, still hot, but manageably hot. But now and again, you just want something a bit of flavoursome, even like something soft like a bit of chicken mixed with a bit of naga. You get that going on, and you're really on to a winner then.
Yeah.
Pilau rice I like normally on mushroom rice. Garlic coriander naan. Now and again a chili naan, depending on what food I'm having. Onion bhaji. Anything else that's on the go, I just love it on there because I do love a pint and a curry. It's my.
I like a bit of mehdi gosht, and you've got to have dal. You've got to have taka dal. You just
Koist. I'm going to tell you, Koist's lad. I had a curry with Koist and a couple of beers one night, and Fletch and his lad ordered a Peshwari night. Now I ain't doing it. I ain't having it. So I just absolutely ruined him. I said, your lad, I said, he needs to have a look at himself. Fruit in a bit of bread, come on.
Yeah. I tell you what, you also need for the ideal Indian, and we had this at the Lowestoft Tandoori, we had an absolute feast, and then at the end of the night, the owner says, I'll give you a lift home in my car, boys.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Good morning, Mr. TalkSport Breakfast with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. I'm Jeff Stelling, and prospective TalkSport MMA champ Ali McCoist.
No, I've changed my mind.
Alongside me. I know you have. You've seen.
I've changed my mind.
Come on.
No, I've not seen any of the text.
Have you not? No, right.
No,
Okay.
I forgot who I was up against.
Oh, right. Well,
Shaban, I'm getting it to Shaban.
Oh, Shaban, yeah.
Shaban's won it.
Yeah.
I'm not even meeting her.
Matt and Andy both suggest Goldstein against Keown would be decent.
Keown wins it.
Alan suggests who wins it. Of course, it has to be Alan Jabba the Hutt Brazil. And Dan says, I reckon Big Al against Barry Glendenning could go either way. And it could. But I tell you what, if I've got my money on anyone in the TalkSport MMA Open, if you like, it was my Friday morning breakfast partner, Sean Deitch.
Oh, Deitchy all day.
All day long.
I didn't know is he straight into the competition after one performance?
I think so. Why?
Well, he wins it. I'm giving him it.
Yeah.
I'm standing aside. If I've had a serious think about it, I'm taking back what I said. I don't think I'm even getting on the podium.
Oh, brilliant suggestion there, Jill. Thank you very much. Now, Everton blew the title race wide open last night as they held Man City to a 3-3 draw. Doku absolutely brilliant as far as City were concerned, but Everton fantastic as well. And it handed the title very much back into the hands of Arsenal, potentially.
I mean, we're playing to win the Premier League. It's exactly what we want it to be. 4 games to go.
I think Arsenal can do it. I think they can.
Sometimes they go sideways, they go backwards, and you just think, oh, for God's sake, just do it, go forward and see what can happen.
Top of the league and in the semi-final of the Champions League. Forget all the noise, start to turn up, start to play.
Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. Vítor Gyokeres has his second of the first half. Arsenal running riot.
Usually there was freshness and hunger, and we certainly saw that from the team.
6 points clear of Man City in the Premier League. This title race is by no means over.
The pressure will be on City. Whatever you think, playing catch-up is difficult. Having to win does put a bit of extra pressure on you.
He pulls the trigger. Here comes the Barry, who taps it home. It's 3-1 Everton.
Man City were in control of possession, in control of the game up until that complete collapse. And almost arrogant.
It comes to Doku. He's searching up a shot. It's right-footed. It's in. Oh my word, fathers! In the last second of the game, with the last kick of the game, Doku has equalised, and he may just have kept the title race alive.
97th-minute equaliser for Man City against Everton. But if Arsenal win their last 3, then they also win the title. And on the face of it, West Ham away, Burnley at home, Crystal Palace away, not too difficult. But I guess in the run-in, everything's difficult. Let's talk to the voice of live football on TalkSport, Adrian Durham. Morning to you, Adrian.
Morning, Ed. How are you?
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. I'm looking forward to the climax to the Scottish season because we'll have Hearts winning the title, Dunfermline winning the cup. What a time to be alive.
Are you ruling Dunfermline out of automatic, well, not automatic promotion as well? Hang on, are they not in the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it could be the double. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yes.
Neil Lennon's done incredible at Dunfermline.
What a job.
It mustn't be underestimated what he's done there this season. It's a magical season. If they can top it off with a cup, I'll accept staying in the Championship, but if they top it off with a cup, fantastic.
So, and Ed, are you looking forward to your role in the TalkSport MMA Championship?
Yes.
Who do you want to take on?
An interested observer, I'll be there. I think I've been paired. The draw's been done. And I've been paired with Shaban. She's just looked at me, so I'm out. I've tapped out already.
Imagine,
we all would.
Imagine that as a tag team, Keown and Shaban.
Brilliant. Oh, God. Anyway, look, back to the football. So Man City, almost arrogant at times, you said last night. In what way?
In a way that at 1-0 up, they were just strolling around, and it was like the game of Burnley, their last Premier League game a couple of weeks ago. They were 1-0 up, strolling around. Burnley were no threat, and I was thinking to myself, if they do this again against a better team, they could come undone, and that's exactly what happened last night. But more than arrogance, I think there's something about the application of Manchester City this season. 3 things on this, right? I said weeks ago when City dropped points, they drew with Forest, they drew with West Ham. I said they're not taking the title seriously enough, and I think that's true. Mark Gahey last night was not focused enough. He was not serious enough, whether it's through lack of experience or whatever. He's been in the building long enough now to know what's at stake. He wasn't serious enough last night, hence the errors. What about Doku shushing the crowd after the equaliser? Mate, you've just given Arsenal the title. I mean, he's shushing them because he's winning a personal individual battle with O'Brien, a battle with the crowd who've been giving him stick. No one cares about his individual battle at this stage of the season. And the worst of all, Donnarumma on his knees begging the referee to disallow a goal was one of the most pathetic sights I've seen this season. So I look at Manchester City and fair play, they've given it a crack. They've won 6 in a row, all competitions, and they've looked good. But they're renowned for winning games relentlessly in pursuit of a title, and they were lucky to get a draw last night.
Listen, Adrian, I don't think there's any doubt, right? The ball is now firmly in Arsenal's court, right? However, did last night not just show us exactly why you can't have any 100% degree of confidence that Arsenal can go to West Ham and win? I just think this is the beauty of the league, and it's why it's the best league. Okay, PSG, Bayern Munich, yes, far better teams. I get all that, but it's the beauty of the league.
Oh, last night's game was sensational, and if you're looking at how teams play football, that's the kind of game I want to watch. Not the way Arsenal play, but that to me, it's irrelevant now. I mean, if you if you play badly and get the job done, then fair play, Arsenal. They're going to be worthy champions. Jeff's just read out Arsenal's running. It isn't tough, but they can even afford to draw with West Ham and then batter Burnley, and their goal difference will be far too superior for City to catch up. So they've got some wiggle room here, Arsenal. Manchester City, for me, last night, they did gift it to them. I know a lot of people will feel coming from 3-1 down, getting that equaliser long after the allotted time was up, they will feel that City will be on a high and it's rescued them and all that. Reality is very different, I think. This is Arsenal's title now, I think.
Typical David Moyes type performance from Everton, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I was so impressed with them. They were kind of virtually non-existent first half, so he must have got stuck into them at half-time, as you can imagine. He'd probably win the MMA battle. But Michael Keane probably... I mean, he's going on about the penalty there, and it looks for all the world like a penalty, Bernardo Silva's foul. Michael Keane maybe a little bit lucky to be not sent off for the nasty one on Doku as well. So there's swings and roundabouts there. I mean, he went on about the Fernandes penalty at West Ham that they weren't given, and said he'd asked the PGMO, and PGMO had said they'd given him a load of rubbish, I think was his comment. Well, you know, Jordan Pickford in the same game absolutely wiped a West Ham player out and nothing happened. So, you know, he always mentions the ones that go against him, never mentions the ones that go for him. And that's what managers do, and I get it. So, yeah, I mean, it was a classic old school Everton performance. The crowd, by the way, sometimes the crowd there, they're late getting to seats because the concourses are so brilliant at the new stadium that they want to stay out there until the kickoff. And I get that. But once they were in the seats, I thought they were absolutely magnificent. It's been a bit quiet at times this season in that new stadium. Last night, they were brilliant.
Will that give Arsenal the boost they need to go through tonight, never mind win the title?
You know what? I was thinking that as well. It is exactly what they needed. I heard you earlier saying that, Ali, that they'll be absolutely buzzing right now. And you can imagine they celebrated that. Remember the Leicester party when Spurs were held at Chelsea 2-2 and they knew they'd won the title? I would imagine it was a little bit of that going on for a few of the Arsenal players last night. Some of them calming themselves down, saying we've got to get the job done, etc. But I think that they will be very happy with that. And the boost going into tonight. Listen, I thought it was a great result, 1-1. Away last week. Forget the quality. It's like I keep saying, the quality of the game is not important. All they need to do is get the trophies in the cabinet, because it's never happened with the Champions League, and it's been far too long for Arsenal with the Premier League. This, it looks like, could well be their season, and they won't care one jot how they get there. But I think it's a massive boost ahead of tonight, and I think the Emirates will be absolutely buzzing tonight. We'll have it from 7 on TalkSport.
Looking forward to it, Aid. Thanks very much.
Enjoy it, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Coming up, we bring you more an announcement of a TalkSport MMA event. Some interesting contests in prospect. Tunney against O'Hara. Actually, I would pay good money to see that. Hawksby against Jacobs. Not sure there. Who does Ali have coming out on top, apart from himself? Find out next.
Michael Carrick feels very comfortable being the Manchester United manager. He looks as if he wants the job. He doesn't get flustered by the fact that he has to wear that blazer and walk down that touchline. He's a natural fit for it, and he said that yesterday, that it feels quite natural for him. This was him speaking after the game yesterday.
It's been a good run, I think. You know, we've obviously beat some very, very good teams, and it's been challenging. You know, sometimes we won it in some ways, sometimes we've got to win it in other ways, but. Yeah, listen, I love doing what I'm doing. You know, it's it's a great position for me to be, and it feels pretty natural, if I'm totally honest. I'm not being blasé, because it's a difficult role, but it feels that I've been here a long time in different times, on and off. But I kind of understand what it brings, and to be sat in this position is a good position to be.
James, just following on from that, Michael, will you be disappointed now if you don't get this job?
We'll have to wait and see, you know. All we can do, I think, when we came in, I think Champions League, to be honest, was a little bit in the distance, and we wanted to try and get back into Europe. So to be where we are, the run the players have put together with 3 games to spare is a good achievement. I see it as just being a step, though. You know, we're not over celebrating it, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You know, I can only do my best for the club and for the players, especially, and try and help them as best as we can, and then see what happens after.
It's the best run that Manchester United have been on since March 2019. Ten Hag did have a 9-game all competitions winning run in late 2022, early 2023, 8 in 10 in the Premier League.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning.
Good morning, I remember it. It was Carl Douglas, wasn't it? Yeah, absolutely. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist with me. The reason we're playing this is because we heard about Brighton bringing in an MMA fighter to assist with their set-piece defending, which got some of us thinking about how good or bad a TalkSport MMA tournament would be. So, Ali, we've come up with a hypothetical fight card between some of our presenters. We need you to tell us who you reckon would win. We're going to start off strong. It's Brazil against McCoist, a breakfast special. You backing yourself?
That should be the final. I'm telling you right now, that should be the final. I'd need to keep on the move. And bamboozle the big one.
Yeah.
With movement. Cause
your mobility would definitely...
I think so. Because if I tell you right now, if he pins me down, there's only one winner. So if I kept mobile, I'd fancy my chances. If I don't, he's winning it all day.
Next up, it's White against Jordan.
Could you imagine it? That's a draw, right?
I'm trying to imagine Whitey in his sort of MMA gear. It's not pretty.
That's a draw. That's a draw.
What about Andy Goldstein against Darren Bent?
Bent, he's too strong for Andy. Too much mobility all day.
Yeah. Andy Jacobs against Paul Hawksby, a legends encounter.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm putting that on not only at the same time as White versus Jordan, I'm putting that on in the same ring as White versus Jordan.
What, at the same time?
At the same time.
Okay.
At the same time.
And the Battle of the Sports Bar at Hara against Cundy.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. See, I'll probably take Cundy on that one because Hara's not... He'd have probably had a bit of hair to grab before, but he's not getting hair to grab, so I'm going for Cundy in that one. That's a tough one to call, but I'm Jason's edging it.
Finally, this is a hard one to call. Two TalkSport's Breakfast Down take to the cage. It's Gabby Agbonlahor against the mighty Shabana Hearn. Who's the winner?
I'm telling you right now, I can close my eyes and picture seeing the referee walking over, and the referee is lifting Shaban's arm up because she's winning it. She's brilliant. She's doing Gabby for fun.
Yeah. You know who nobody's mentioned? Nobody's mentioned the Moose.
Oh, and the Moose, yeah.
How about the Moose against Crookie? That would be a heavyweight encounter.
Oh, aye. Do you know something? I don't think a lot of people would turn up to watch that, to be honest. I think that one would, without any doubt, Jeff, would have the lowest attendance.
It would not be a thing of great beauty, would it? Sorry, boys. Hey, speaking of Shaban and Gabby, you don't want to miss TalkSport Breakfast tomorrow morning.
Brilliant.
6 huge guest lineup, including the 2001 Ballon d'Or winner, the man who collected 8 major trophies across his club career, the former England striker Michael Owen. We'll also react to Arsenal's huge Champions League semi-final against Atletico Madrid, and we'll discuss the title race with City as well. Emmanuel Adebayor will be on the show.
Excellent.
As well. Look forward to listening to him. Ian from Hull says, oh, here we go. Of course, somebody else we've missed out here. Stuart Pearce. Now, nobody, we could have a new favourite there. I don't think anybody would want to take on Pearce.
No, I think Piercy Keown might be the final. Yeah. I've dramatically 2 minutes ago I was fancying myself to win it. Now I'm hoping to get through unscathed.
Levi says Alan Brazil pinning down McCoist. So I'm trying to eat breakfast, chaps. All right, let's get the latest odds with Coral, and the most feared man in Rochdale, it's John Hill.
The Coral Daily Download on TalkSport with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gamble-aware.org.
John, good morning to you.
Very good morning, John.
Very good morning, gents, and I'm pleased to come on after a positive result for Rochdale this week.
Not
Obviously,
half.
it's been a long, hard season, hasn't it? Like a roller coaster, I have to say. But it was another incredible game on Sunday, beating Scunthorpe 2-0 up. I thought, here we go, nice and easy into the final. We're going to cruise there. And then, of course, Scunthorpe scored in the last 10 minutes just to make it a little bit tense in the final few moments of the game. But we finally got there, Jeff and Ali. And, can't wait for Sunday now, Wembley.
Yeah, you're going to be there. It's Boreham Wood. You're up against. They're a good team as well, I'll tell you that.
They are a good team, can't wait to be there. Got my ticket booked yesterday. We've beaten them twice already this season, but of course that counts for absolutely nothing come Sunday. So, they're a good side. I think it's two sides who like to play good football, so should be an entertaining game. And, two teams, will have big crowds there looking forward to.
How many will you take, John? You mentioned big crowd. How many will you take?
I think, look, we've been given an allocation of 20,000. I think we'll go close to sending that. I think everybody in Rochdale is looking forward to going down on the bus. They've booked their buses and tickets, and so I'd like to think we'll, sell a good allocation of that, and it'll be a great atmosphere there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that crowd because, Boreham was a smashing club, and Luke Garrard's one of my favourite managers in the National League. They've not got great support. Average home attendance is around 1,000, so it'll be really interesting to see what it is on the day. Title race after last night then, John, I'm guessing Arsenal are long odds on.
They are indeed, absolutely. 1-4 now, Arsenal. City 3-1. This is another big twist in this title race, isn't it? City got themselves level in terms of points, and obviously that victory over Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium, but now it's very much firmly advantage Arsenal again. And fair play to Everton. I thought they were excellent yesterday. David Moyes has done a great job, hasn't he, this season? But is it very much one hand of the title now for Arsenal, do you think, Ali? Or could we have one more twist?
Well, we could easily one more twist. I mean, there's some big games going up, none more so than Arsenal travelling to West Ham at the weekend. Also, you look at City, tough one at home to Brentford, then they've got to Bournemouth, things like that. So, yes, could is the obvious answer, but you'd have to say, I mean, if Arsenal don't do it now, it would be a major, major surprise and the biggest disappointment they've had in a long, long time. And on that, John, I just think what a boost they would have got last night. And I understand, I heard the boys talking about, they were a little bit deflated, that Everton didn't win the game. I would tend to disagree with that, because I think the fact that they dropped 2 points is by far and away the biggest boost that Arsenal could get. And that, I actually think that will take them into tonight's fixture, and they'll get a boost from that. For that, I beg your pardon as well, mate.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And in terms of tonight's game, they're 1-4 to qualify the Gunners for that final. Not had a final, is it about 20 years? Remember in Paris, beaten by Barcelona, I think it was. So, it'd be a huge occasion for the Gunners. Atletico Madrid, good team, though. They're 5-2 to qualify. In terms of tonight's betting, Arsenal 4-7 favourites. So, looking forward to watching that game tonight. I don't know if you saw any of the snooker last night, boys. What a final that was at the Crucible between Wu Yiza and Sean Murphy. Decided, just like in 1985, that famous decider between Taylor and Davis. Well, it had drama at the Crucible last night. And we've got a new superstar, has to be said, young 22-year-old Wu Yiza from China, becoming world champion. That boy is super talented. He's got big bravery. He's potting. I don't think I've ever anything like it in the game. Pots from the lampshades. Nothing's safe on the table with him. And I think he'll be winning many more world titles, as we said.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely sensational stuff. I was just relieved that it wasn't still going at the time the 1985 final was still going, because I was trying to stay awake and watch it.
Me too.
Yes,
Me too. I remember it well.
Yeah.
Well, how late did that finish? Was it like 1 o'clock, 2 in the morning?
It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Something absolutely. It was well past Dennis Tiller's bedtime, I'll tell you that. It was well past mine as well. So, no, you're absolutely right, mate. It was a brilliant final, and it's going to be interesting to see, in years to come, whether he can dominate the game or not. There's so many brilliant young players coming through, and he's ahead of the pack at the moment.
Yeah, he is. Well, he's 7-1 to do it next year. Don't forget,
7-1 for next year. Wow,
he's 7-1. I thought it was a big price, I have to say, when I woke up this morning. But we've got this Crucible curse, which seems to strike every single year. Which is obviously first-time world champion back next year. Never seem to be able to defend their title for whatever reason. Zhao Xintong this year, it dominated the tour the second half of the season, beaten in the quarterfinals. So it struck again. Will it strike again for Wu Yiza next year? Can't wait to find out next April.
John, brilliant.
Thanks, John.
I won't speak to you again probably before the weekend, so best of luck in the final. Enjoy it.
Thank you, and thanks for all your support this season, gents. Really appreciate it.
Cheers,
Thanks,
John.
All the best, mate.
Harvey says Alan Brazil against Danny Kelly in the seniors slash legends division. And what about this from Phil, the Newcastle fan? Brucey against Pards. He said Brucey was known for his steeliness as a player, but Pards has got a decent headbutt in the locker. He will not thank us for reminding him of that. That is for sure. Troy Deeney is another suggestion from Boxy and Shaw. Thankfully, Troy doesn't work for us at the moment.
No.
So he is disqualified because of that. I mean, none of us would have minded taking him on.
You're on your own there, mate.
Yeah. That was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18+, gambleaware.org. Coming up, is Vítor Pereira the new Premier League survival specialist? We'll ask a man who knows exactly what it takes to be one. Sam Allardyce is with us next to give us his view on Forest and the relegation battle.
The Coral Daily Download on TalkSport with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Now that we're just about safe, I hope that we throw that game against West Ham and Callum Wilson comes and scores just about and just absolutely hammers you guys, because it would be the greatest thing in Premier League history.
That's such a small club mentality,
really
though, mate.
The arrogance of you and your club is absolutely.
What are you on about? What are you on about? I've had one phone call from Mark, who's a Tottenham fan, and now we're arrogant. What do you mean?
You are an arrogant club. You are an arrogant club.
I agree with him. I agree with him.
I mean, you're probably the biggest club in the Premier League to do nothing.
And we won the Europa League last season.
Oh, come on, Jamie.
What do you mean, come on? You say we won nothing. What do you mean? We won the Europa League. That's a major trophy.
You've done nothing. Done nothing.
You ain't done nothing for 50 years, pal.
Nothing.
You've done nothing.
Ah, yeah, I know. Listen, I know how bad we are. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, so you're talking about throwing a game. Sums you lot up. That sums you lot up. You want to throw the game against West Ham after the season that you've had?
Listen. Yeah, mate. Yeah, listen. What last 16 Champions League tie against Barcelona? We've been shocking this season, Jamie. Yeah. I can admit it. You guys can't. You've had a caller on. Come on, there, giving it the big lad, saying that yous are safe. Yous are safe. Yous are still 2 points behind West Ham. Got to go to Aston Villa tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yous have got a pretty tough fixture list remaining. With a bit of luck, Chelsea, Cundy's mob, will relegate yous.
Maybe. But. I mean,
with a bit of luck, and I think the whole country wants it to happen as well.
Well, that just sums you lot up, doesn't it? I mean, you're up in Newcastle. I mean, why would you care about what Tottenham do?
Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters, but it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out, or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the taxman at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion TalkSport's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
Very good morning to you. 8:34 Tuesday, May the 5th. Hope you're having a very good start to this particular Tuesday. This is TalkSport Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Shop the upgrade event today. Get an extra £500 when you part exchange your car. Don't miss your chance to boost your valuation. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. We spent a lot of time, of course, talking about titles in England and in Scotland as well. But it was a weekend that the relegation battle in the Premier League was thrown very much back up in the West Ham beaten, of course, at Brentford by 3-0. Spurs picked up that massive win against Aston Villa. So just 1 point between the two of them. Nottingham Forest, to all intents and purposes, now safe with that 3-1 win over Chelsea. Let's just touch on Vítor Pereira, by the way, Coisty, as well.
Brilliant.
He's done what he did at Wolves when he came in.
Yep.
And done absolutely brilliantly. Now, can he maintain it? Is he one of those guys who comes in and gives
a job
a big lift and then it
well, I answer that with
dissipate a bit.
Time will tell, Jeff. But I mean, they have been fabulous since he's come in, and they're 90 minutes away from a Europa League final as well. They could end up, mentioned it earlier, Forest could end up having an absolute season to remember if you think about it. They've got some very, very good players in their team. The ones obviously stand out. Gibbs White. I think it makes a difference. I know he didn't play last night, but I think the big fella up front makes a big difference when he comes back in. But they look as though recently they just look as though they're playing like a team. They've got a spirit about them, which you need when you're fighting and for your lives down the bottom of that league. He's got them organised. They look as though they're totally committed and behind the cause, and it'll be interesting. I definitely expect them to be vastly improvement in the league position next year than they'll finish this year, because I think they I think they've definitely let themselves down, actually, to be honest. I know they're recovering well and they're playing really well now, but prior to that, the fact of the matter is, Jeff, you don't have 4 managers in the one season unless you're doing something wrong. You know? And the players deserve a lot of credit at this moment in time. But obviously, prior to that, you could point a finger at a few of them and deserve a fair amount of criticism.
Yeah, you certainly could, certainly with what they're producing now. But you can equally, when you look at Vítor Pereira, I think you can see how players and fans respond to him. Respond to him brilliantly, don't they? Look, let's talk about the relegation battle, and a man who knows about survival specialists, if you like, is Vítor Pereira one of those. Delighted to say we're joined by Big Sam Allardyce. Morning, Sam.
Good morning, Sam.
Hey, listen, I was more than a specialist survival man.
I know you were, mate.
Hey, give over.
I know you, mate.
It was just one string to your bow, Sam. That was all it was.
One string to my bow, yeah.
Yeah.
Strings.
What do you think about Vítor Pereira, though, Sam, when you see what he did at Wolves, at least initially, and what he's done at Forest initially? Can he maintain it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that he's got to grips with the players pretty well, but it looks at it pretty quickly. I think his character and his impression on the player has been good by the way they've responded. I think that there's no doubt about that. So I'd say that's more management than coaching by a long way. That's more the players feeling comfortable with what he's doing and him getting the best out of him, rather than all this emphasis that keeps going about coaching this and coaching that. It's man management and motivating the players and organising the players to get out there and be two things. One, defend it very resiliently, and two, try and attack and create and score goals whenever you can, and he's done that exceptionally well.
Sam, where are we overall with it at the moment? Because I'll be honest, about 10 days ago, I couldn't see Tottenham surviving, right? I genuinely couldn't. But they've had a couple of great results. They look as though they've got a bit about them now. West Ham, contrary to the result, I actually thought they were a little bit better than the 3-0 suggested at the weekend. You know, they're more than capable of taking points off people. Where are you with it at the moment? They've got a hell of a game against Arsenal at the weekend.
It's a crunch match for both, really, isn't it, I suppose, because either or slip up and City could win the title or go on and win the title, and West Ham could be closer to getting relegated. So I think it's one of those where you gauge as the manager to bring the best out of your players. I mean, you know, West Ham have had a really, really good run, though, Ali. You know what I mean? It's other teams. I mean, for the first time in many years now, we're having the last relegation place looking like it's going to be 40 points for the first time for a long time. And I think that's made a big. It's not made it very interesting for Tottenham and West Ham and the fans and everybody concerned with the club, but it's making interest for everybody else going right towards the end of the season, as is the top end of the table with Arsenal and Man City, which is good for the Premier League and good for football. I think not good for the clubs individually who slip up or who get relegated. But it's very, very, very interesting on how you try and keep the players calm enough to produce their ability to play at the best level they possibly can without losing the edge by nervous energy, by fear, I suppose, in the end, the fear of getting relegated.
What did you make, Sam, of Unai Emery resting 7 players against Tottenham at the weekend?
Yeah, he answered that one quite well, I thought, because he said, well, I lost the last 2 games. So, is it me changing the team, or is it just the team going through a bad spell? So I thought it was a pretty good answer, but because I'd have said the same, making 7 changes. But it'll have been because of playing in Europe on when did they play? Thursday, was it? And that Thursday is a crushing blow for the team to play on the Sunday in the Premier League. I went through that with Bolton. It's so hard to win a game after that European match, especially when you're getting closer to the end and possibly going to the final, So, look at Crystal Palace, what happened to them? They barely put a front up, on the weekend. And that's the cost of not having a big enough squad to play in Europe, to compete in the FA Cup, the Carling Cup and the Premier League. That's simple as that, Jeff.
I was going to say to you, Sam, we're quite rightly talking about Vítor Pereira and giving him glowing reports and what's happening at Forest, but equally, you got to say, does it looks as though he's turned, well, if he's not turned things around at Tottenham, they certainly look a different proposition.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you organise a football club as quick as you possibly can when you're in that situation. You've got no time to waste. You just get stuck in, Andy. You've got to go in and just say, this is it. You do this, you turn this is what I feel, this is how I feel. And then you might ask the question, how do you feel? And today, when you ask the question, how do you feel, it's very rarely you actually get a response now. Not like the old days where players would, stand up and say what they actually feel. It's much more difficult to get players to join in that way now. So you've got to try and guide them through this period, and he's done a decent job with that. We always know they've got a talent, but what Tottenham haven't got is they've got a defence that stops goals going in like every other team down there. If you stop that, you stay up, Andy. Simple as that. And everybody goes on about that's negative tactics. It's not. It's the only tactics. One of the first tactics you have to get right. Go on the pitch and don't concede a goal, and then you'll never be in trouble, But it's like I said, it's been a good run at the top this year, but at the bottom it's certainly very, very edgy for just those 2 clubs now. 2 big clubs as well from London. Yeah. That's what everybody looks at, and obviously the consequences of a Tottenham and a West Ham falling out of the league financially is devastating. I think I saw on YouTube yesterday that Tottenham are about 7th or 8th in the spending over the last few years. I didn't realise they were right up there, you know what I mean? So it's not quite worked for them in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Have you got a gut feeling, Sam, West Ham or Spurs to go down?
Oh. Well, obviously, I don't want West Ham to go down. After spending the time getting them there and keeping them there for 3 years, and then seeing what Moisey did as well, I think that I'd like to see them stay up. But I think that Tottenham and them it's quite difficult. But I'd say I'd like to see West Ham stay up because I've worked there and know a lot of people there and are still in touch with them. So it's good luck to them, and hopefully they keep the nerve.
Sam, thank you very much again,
Thanks
mate.
a lot, Stan. All the best.
Cheers, lad.
Sam Allardyce there. No, I'm not surprised that he wants West Ham to stay up after his
No,
time.
absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Sorry. Who am I doing breakfast with this morning?
By the way,
you've been called a few names in your time, haven't you?
I only shared the dressing room with him. I only played with him. And he's thrown Andy into the equation twice. But did you notice how I signed off there, no?
No. What did you say?
Says, thanks very much, Stan.
Oh. Brilliant. Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on TalkSport with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
Andy and I will be asking whether the Luke Litter of snooker has arrived. 21-year-old Wu Yiza became the world champion last night after beating Sean Murphy. But just how high is his ceiling? And could he be the new face of the sport? We'll be finding out with the president of Matchroom Sports, Barry Hearn, very shortly. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name.
Superstar Breakfast Preview on TalkSport with Travis Perkins. With pay-as-you-go hire from Travis Perkins, you can get straight on with the job. Available nationwide at all hire branches.
And what about Vítor Gyokeres? Do we need to give him a handshake and say, well done? The last Arsenal player to score 20-plus goals in their debut season was Alexis Sanchez, 2014-15. Wow. Only Erling Haaland and Igor Thiago have scored more goals than Gyokeres this season.
Yeah, I guess if you're still being ultra-critical, you would
ultra-critical?
Is that a word? Hypercritical, you would say ultra-critical. There you go. You would say that he still gets his goals against the Leicester Lights in the Premier League. Can you bank on him to score in the big games? Could you bank on him against Atletico in midweek? Probably not. So, yeah, I think 20 goals comes with a little bit of a caveat just in terms of the class of opponent he tends to score against.
It does, but I think you also have to remember 20 goals is still 20 goals in the Premier League. If you're scoring 20 goals in the Premier League, you're doing a good job. Even though they've come against Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Burnley, Everton, Leeds, Sunderland, Tottenham, Everton, Bournemouth, and Fulham. Does that dim the achievement then?
So Bournemouth and Fulham, the only top half teams that he scored against, is that right?
Mm.
Yeah, I think it does dim the achievement because they didn't pay the money for Vítor Gyokeres to score against Leeds, with the greatest respect in the world.
Well, interesting. I think he's done a pretty good job, to be honest with you. West Ham away.
Him or Šeško, because obviously that was the balancing act between a lot of clubs in the summer.
Told you that from the beginning, Šeško. Yeah. All day. Leaner, faster, quicker, sharper in front of goal. Got something. I think Gyokeres is a good player.
Good morning, this is TalkSport Breakfast. We're on clock at 10 minutes away from 9. Buy a used car and get a free 2-year service plan, plus an extra £500 when you part exchange. Shop the upgrade event today. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Phil Foden set to commit his future to Manchester City. It's being reported after reaching an agreement in principle with the club over a new long-term contract. It's a contract that will keep him at the Etihad until the summer of 2030, with an option to extend it by a further 12 months. He's barely had a sniff in terms of the first team recently. Costy, are you surprised?
Probably a little bit, but I would use the term pleasantly surprised, because I'll tell you why. In a day and an age where, you know, in terms of loyalty to clubs, players to clubs, you know, isn't really around as it once was, and players, you know, move for whatever reason a lot more than they used to. I quite like seeing players stay at clubs and show loyalty, and I think the supporters do as well. But the fact that why it surprises me a little bit is the fact it hasn't been getting a lot of football.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think people forget, and certainly I'd forgotten, he is only 25, because he seems to be seen for a long, long time. But the lack of minutes, I mean...
that would be a concern.
Yeah,
Got
it
to be.
is a concern.
I mean, I don't think he's going to
so much so, he may not get the World Cup.
I don't think he will.
No.
I actually don't think he will. And I think Cole Palmer's another one that might struggle, because I think there's people jumped ahead. I think Morgan Rogers' form has dipped, but I think Thomas Tuchel really likes him.
Yeah.
You know, Gibbs White and boys like that. Bellingham can play in there. You know, there's a good few players that can play in that position. And I think at the top of the list, maybe 12 months ago, might have been Foden and Palmer. And I think for obvious reasons, I think they're going to struggle to go and get on the plane, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, completely agree. Big question marks over both of them, but that's the news anyway. Phil Foden agreeing in principle a new deal at Manchester City. Now this Saturday, two British knockout kings set to collide. Fabio Wardley takes on Daniel Dubois. Let's look ahead to the big fight now with DAZN.
Big fight build-up on TalkSport with DAZN. Watch Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois. Don't blink. This Saturday, only on DAZN. Sign up now at DAZN.com.
Promises to be some fight, doesn't it? Let's get more on it now with the former WBC Cruiserweight champion, huge Evertonian, friend of the show, Tony Bellow. Morning, Tony.
Morning, Tony.
How are you, boys?
Yeah, good.
We're well, mate. You've got to be buzzing this morning, fella.
Do you know what, guys? I'm not going to lie. I'm just sick of these referees. We're just not getting anything. I mean, you've got one fella against West Ham. He's playing basketball in the box. He's manhandling players and he's playing basketball in the box, and we don't get nothing. And then last night, the Bernardo Silva one, I just don't know where it's going to end. Before the game last night, I'll bite your hand off for a point. Bite your hand off. Take it all day. Unbelievable. The first half, that's the best football I've seen a team come to our place and play that first half. I have never seen someone. I think we must have had the ball out of 45 minutes or 47 minutes, whatever was played. I think we had the ball for about 11 minutes of that. It was just that's being kind to us. It might have only been 5 we had the ball for, and then first 45 minutes, they were absolutely unbelievable. They passed us off the park. They were everywhere. Second half, we came out, and I can only think the gaffer said to him, you know what, just have a go.
Yeah.
There's no point in the low block, whatever you want to call it, or sitting back to try and hit them on the counter. We just went for them, lads. And
the difference was unbelievable.
Absolutely. Ali, the second half, it was back and forth. I mean, listen, obviously nothing's really going to compare to that PSG and Bayern game. Yeah. But from an Everton perspective, that second half is the best second half of football I've seen so far this season from Everton. We were at them. We were non-stop. I just think, do you know why I think it happened in the second half? I think they went for the kill with goals, and they left themselves wide open in places and patches.
Yeah.
And that was why it opened up so much. This goal difference thing and what they're chasing with the title, I think it had an effect on them last night, and it showed in that second half when they were going for it.
Could have scored more, mate. You had chances. Yeah. That's for sure. And before we move on, I mean, we're talking about England. I'd love to see Jimmy Garner in that England.
He's been brilliant.
World Cup. I'm not sure he will be, but he couldn't do anything more than he's doing now.
Yeah. You're spot on. I don't want it. On merit, he's there. He's not there. And listen, if you get in the England squad and you're playing for Everton, it shows how well you're doing. Because look at the competition he's up against, lads. He's up against lads playing in the Champions League every week, big clubs, big names. He's been absolutely fantastic this season. He's been my player of the season for Everton, and that's very hard to say that because we've got such quality in the midfield department. I mean, Iliman and Jai has been fantastic. Missed a couple of chances last night, but he creates so much. He gets at so many teams. He gets on the ball. He wants to be the difference. He wants to be the man to make a mark. And as I said, Jimmy Garn last night was fantastic. Every week, lads, he's an 8. Every week he's just
he's been fantastic. Hey, look, mate, we better talk boxing a little bit. I saw Dan Charles saying that Fabio Wardley has fought inferior opponents to Daniel Dubois so far. He said he's no Usyk and no match for my boy. What do you think?
I get Don's point. I get it. And he's bigging up his man. He's hyping him up. And listen, believe you me, Daniel needs all the hype he can get because he's somebody who fights on confidence. Daniel, when he's confident, is a very, very dangerous fighter. But I'm not going to lie, guys, you can take that confidence away from him within the first 3 minutes of the fight. And if you come out, start strong, put him a strong jab on him, you can get a reaction at him and you can diminish his hopes really quickly. But there's a flip side to that coin. If he lands first, you're in a world of trouble. And just like AJ found out, and that was the only difference with the AJ fight, he landed first, and even though AJ was coming back into the fight and then also rocked him before getting stopped, he had such confidence from the start of the fight. And you usually find this with fighters who are bullies. When you're a bully, it's like you're relentless when you're on top. But when the tide starts to turn and really turn, they kind of look for a way out, guys. And I don't want to label him as a bully because I've met him a couple of times. He's a lovely fella. He's a really nice lad. This is just my analysis of him as a fighter.
It's funny, Tony.
While I think he's dangerous, it's a great fight.
Tony, I can't wait. I'm actually going to Manchester at the weekend. I can't wait. The quote that sets it up for me, I read it yesterday. Wardley says, I'm just going to let the guns go and we'll see what happens. Is that what I'm going to get? Is that what I'm going to get on Saturday?
I think with Fabio's been absolutely amazing. The couple of times I've not wrote him off. The couple of times I've thought he was going to get beat, he's shown me up and he's come really good. The thing with Fabio is he has more strings to the bow than Daniel does. So he has more ways he can win. And the biggest factor for me is he's shown he can get off the floor, ride the really tough moments in fights, and fights when, guys, I'm not being honest, he doesn't deserve to win. He was losing every round against Justice Hooney. He was losing against Joseph Parker. But you see that 0 that he has and that undefeated thing that he's got going, it stands him in such good stead and it gives him such confidence, lads, because you have to nail Fabio Wardley to the floor to beat him. He's not going to give in, no matter if everyone's against him. He's got this, it's me against the world. He's got that kind of attitude, and you'll see on Saturday night, you will have to really nail him to the floor to beat him. I'm not saying it's impossible and make Fabio a slight favourite, but it's a really, really good fight, and it's one I am looking forward to, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, looking forward to it very much. Tony, thanks very much.
Thanks, Tony. All the best, pal.
Always a pleasure, lads. Keep supporting the Blues. And can everyone just... I heard Cundy last night, that clown, giving us absolutely... he said... The bottle in it, City. Not one mention of how well Everton played in the second half. Not one mention of we went all out, we attacked them. No one plays against City like that. Arsenal didn't play against City like that. I mean, everyone plays against them, and they just go into this low block when they're 1-0 down, and teams are kind of inferior to them and are happy to lose, lads. I think Everton should be given credit for once. No one ever gives us credit. And, do you know, if we do get that penalty last night, we win the game, definitely. And if we get the penalty again, I mean, Ali, Jeff, you've watched football all your lives. How is that fella at West Ham playing basketball in the box? And then here's the best part, lads. He puts it out for the corner with his hand, and they give a goal kick. I mean, can someone explain this VAR to me, lads, please?
No, it's impossible. We haven't got long enough. We haven't got long enough for that, Tony.
Something's got to be sorted out, lads. I mean, David Moyes, for me, has been manager of the season. It's him or that Pereira. What a job he's doing. Back him in the summer. Everton Football Club are back. Up the toffees. Thank you very much, lads.
Hey, Tony, if you find somebody who can explain VAR to you, can you give him my number, please? Thanks, mate.
All the best.
Tony Bellow, that was a look ahead to Wardley against Dubois. What a fight it could be with DAZN. Don't forget, you can watch it live this Saturday only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.
Big fight build-up on TalkSport with DAZN. Watch Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois. Don't blink. This Saturday, only on DAZN. Sign up now at DAZN.com.
Some news coming in for you, Coisty. TalkSport understands Unai Emery is high on Real Madrid's shortlist to become their new manager. He's under contract at Villa Park since the summer of 2029. Sources in Spain believe he could be tempted by a new challenge due to Villa's financial restrictions. You know what? I was just looking back through the internet on this, and he was linked with the Real Madrid job in March, and he was linked with it again in April. So it's no surprise, really, he's been linked with it again in May. I mean, look, it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world, would it?
No, not at all. I mean, I'll be honest with you, don't want him to go. Love him, like everything about him. I think the Villa fans would be sorely, they'd be bordering on devastation at Villa Park if they lost him. But you know something, there's the naughty part of me would love to see him handle Mbappe and Vinicius Junior and those boys. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be really, really interesting. And there's no surprise because he is top class. Listen, he was disappointed with the level of performance his team put in yesterday. But why would he not come into their thinking to be their next manager? Because he certainly has proven it at just about every level. Arsenal aside, he has been absolutely fantastic. But Jeff, I want him to stay.
I mean, I just wonder whether that experience at Arsenal will make him feel, rightly or wrongly, that he still has.
From the Toffees to the Tractor Boys, the Eagles to the Seagulls, Gunners, Bees, Hammers and Magpies, Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Let's start with Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were two local toffee shops. Ye Ancient Everton Toffee House and Mother Noblet's Toffee Shop were big fan favourites. Next, they say if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, and that's exactly what Ipswich Town did when it came to their nickname. The term Tractor Boys used to be chanted by their opponents as a way of putting the team down for their farming background. But during one game back in the late 90s, Ipswich were 1-0 up and they decided to flip the script. 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, they sang, and a new nickname was born. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire is also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Next up, turns out apples are not the only fruit that don't fall far from the tree. Bournemouth's nickname, the Cherries, comes from the fact the club's stadium was originally built right next to a bunch of cherry orchards. This next story actually involves two club nicknames. It started with Crystal Palace. They were having an absolute nightmare run back in the early 70s. They'd been relegated after a terrible spell and manager Malcolm Allison decided enough was enough. He wanted a new nickname, something strong, fast and destined for success. Something exactly like an eagle. But there's more to this one. Brighton were in search of a nickname too, and Palace finally gave them what they needed. In a heated match between the two back in 1976, Palace fans began chanting, "Eagles, Eagles." And some clever Brighton fans came up with the perfect reply, "Seagulls, Seagulls." Not all club nicknames have a crazy story though. Take the Gunners. That just comes from the fact a group of munitions workers in the Royal Arsenal factory in Woolwich set up the club in 1886. On the flip side, some nicknames seem simple, but there's a bit more to them, like West Ham. The Hammers is actually nothing to do with the ham part of the name. It comes from the fact the club used to be called Thames Ironworks FC and was made up of workmen and shipbuilders. So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Good morning, this is TalkSport Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Buy a used car, get a free 2-year service plan, plus an extra £500 when you part exchange. Shop the upgrade event today. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me 7 minutes past 9. John from Waltham Abbey's text in said, massive shout out to our fantastic gaffer Richie Wellens with the best post-match interview of the season. You find that hard to argue with as well.
I never saw it.
Really let the players have it, didn't he? That was for sure. But look, Orient stayed up. They're in League One again next season. Now, it might have been party time on the streets of North London last night, but actually it's all focused on the Emirates tonight as Arsenal look to make their first Champions League final for 20 years.
Vítor Gyokeres with arguably his biggest single kick of the ball in an Arsenal shirt to date. Addresses it right foot in, scores!
It's been incredible so far, what we've done, but we have to do it now.
Saka again, through the goalkeeper and in to seal the victory.
The process that Arsenal is being, doing for the last 6 years is amazing. Of course, now you need to be able to validate the work by winning something.
Trying to get in Julian Alvarez's head. Normally reliable from the penalty spot and has drilled it left-footed. Straight past right, didn't give him a chance.
I mean, when you are in for such an opportunity, means that you are ready to deliver.
They're in the box seat to try and get to their first Champions League final for 20 years. It is finished. Atletico 1, Arsenal 1.
Yeah, finished all square. Neither of the two teams will be too unhappy with that. Arsenal are going to be confident, of course they are, and given a boost last night by Manchester City dropping points in the Premier League, I just worry that this is still a dangerous game for them. This is an Atletico side who went to the Nou Camp and won against Barcelona.
Jeff, absolutely, and I know it's amazing because earlier on in the tournament, Arsenal dismantled them. I think it finished 4-0 the game. I think I'm correct in saying they also comfortably beat Bayern Munich. But many times we said it's all about peaking at the right time. You look at his team against Valencia at the weekend. But,
second string.
Yeah, completely. They win 2-0. This is Diego Simeone's type of match, right? It's his type of match. It's what he's built his career on, effectively. With dare I say it, uglier teams, and by uglier teams I mean far more defensive teams, teams that will kill the game, spoil the game, stop the game, knock teams off their flow, out their flow, and I think they'll try to do the same tonight. I think they've got more flair players than they've had in the Madrid side for a long time, but this is his kind of game. With the greatest respect, he probably played that game at home. Now, I don't know, I'm guessing. See Simeone and his teams, he's probably happier. Most managers would want a home tie, second leg. He's probably happier getting away from home. And you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
He can go and just spoil the game with good players, but at the same time, he's got enough quality in his team to know if the opportunity arises, and it will arise, that he can take the chance. The only thing is, I think Arsenal played. I thought Arsenal were the better team in Madrid, and probably deserved. Well, I think they deserved to win the game. It was one of these games where both managers would have taken a draw beforehand, particularly Simeone, because he'll back himself to go away from home, make the game horrible, and sneak a result. I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it will happen. I think Arsenal have got better players, but they'll do everything they can to knock Arsenal out of stride and off their stride.
I thought, Arsenal played, I said it yesterday, with a handbrake off against Fulham. They played with much more freedom. They played at a higher pace. They were more direct as well. But, whether that happens again this evening, it's a completely different question. I think it's going to be much more cagey. Before that first leg, though, there was a lot of talk, wasn't there, about Julian Alvarez. We don't know if he's going to be fit or not. Or Victor Gyokeres, and whether Alvarez, who's being linked with Arsenal, would be a better centre-forward option for Arsenal than Gyokeres. And I think a lot of people felt that was the case. But I wonder if they still feel that way now, because Gyokeres is having a terrific run.
Yes. I mean, he scores a penalty over in Madrid last week. A couple of really important goals at the weekend. And do you know something, Jeff? I'm delighted for him, because I think he's the type of centre-forward that works for everything that he gets. Do you know what I mean? He's not one of these centre-forwards that hangs about and just, waits in the ball come. He runs in behind. He's a really willing runner. Do you know what he is, Gyokeres? I bet he's a great teammate. You know what I mean? Because he'll work his corner and he does his graft and he earns everything that comes his way. I'm delighted for him that he's finally, hit on a good run. And it wouldn't surprise me again if he scored tonight, because I tell you right now, Arsenal at this moment in time, at this particular part in the season, have needed him to turn up, injury to Havertz and things like that. And so far, he has turned up.
Yeah, completely agree. Be interesting to see how much of a part Bukayo Saka plays as well, because he was a major influence in that first
big difference
against Fulham. Let's hear from Mikel Arteta then. Ahead of tonight's game, his message is clear.
Huge excitement, really hungry. I mean, it's difficult to express the desire to live that moment, and especially with our people in front of them. They've been waiting for so long to have these kind of nights, and push hard tomorrow, because it's something amazing going to happen. Go and grab it. I mean, when you are in front of such an opportunity, means that you are ready to deliver, and the team is going to go from the first minute to go and get that.
Do you fancy them, Coisty?
Yeah, I do. I fancy them to get the job done tonight. I don't think it'll be easy, as I say. I'm not expecting a great game. I hope I'm wrong, but I just think Atletico Madrid and Simeone will do everything they can to spoil it. They'll stop the game, they'll fall down, they'll do all the, you call them dark arts, you call them whatever you want to do, but they'll do everything they can, I think, to stop the natural flow of the game and take the sting out of the game. Arsenal, you're 100% accurate with your assessment of the handbrake being off at the weekend. They played the game at a tempo. They went for it. They were non-stop. That becomes harder to do when there's a lot of stoppages in the game. And I think Simeone is clever enough to do that. They'll be appealing for everything. They'll be around the referee like his teams do. It's worth mentioning, I was anything but impressed with his antics last week. I know a lot of people say, it's great to see this, that, and see that. I think it was a little bit of an embarrassment, to tell you the truth. I wouldn't want my manager behaving like that, a coach behaving like that, but that's probably a debate for another day. But he will do everything, and I mean everything he can, to knock Arsenal out of their stride and prevent them playing the way they attempted to play at the weekend.
I have to say, if the football on the pitch is not great, though, it's worth keeping one eye on the technical areas throughout the game. That's for sure. Coming up, does snooker finally have its future star? We'll find out with Barry Hearn next.
Pards. I am relieved. Do you know what's funny? Obviously, being on this incredible station that we're part of.
Yes.
I meet lots of people out there say, I love you and Pards on a Sunday. But the Spurs contingents, they look at me as like, Madge, are we going to stay up? When people ask me, are we going to stay up? It's like, I've got the answers. Yeah. They think like, I'm telling you, I've been saying it on Inside Spurs.
I have to say, when I go to games, that's the main question I get asked, because who's it going to be, Spurs or West Ham?
On the Inside Spurs podcast, I've been the positive one. Abby, Sonny, I'm talking about you two.
Negative Nellies.
Negative Nellies, right?
You can't have it, mate. You can't have it in a relegation fight.
I said it on the podcast this week. Do you remember Euro 96, the night before England and Scotland? Uri Geller was on fantasy football going, if there's a penalty, we move the ball together.
Don't
touch the ball.
About Uri Geller.
No?
No, I've told you, I've got history with him. We got history at Reading, me and him. No, I'm not going to go there. I want to talk about Spurs. What a performance. What sometimes you bring in a manager and he earns his corn. I'm not being funny. Tudor, right? He wouldn't know what going to Villa would be about, really.
No.
You know, he's seen it on the TV, but he hasn't experienced it. Of course, De Zerbi's been there. He knows what's going to happen. He knows where they are. They've played a European game. He knows he's got to put a performance of experienced players right on it and give them not an inch.
And that's what he did.
What they done.
Yeah.
And then did it brilliantly. Played Gallagher in the 10. He closed everything down. And Richarlison, by the way, that was one of his best performances for Spurs in terms of
Good morning, this is TalkSport Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is alongside me at 9:19 on Thursday, May the 5th. Let's get a final update from the World Snooker Championship after an incredible night at the Crucible with Pluto TV.
World Snooker Championship final update on TalkSport with Pluto TV, home of Snooker 900. Fast, free snooker you can dip into at any time. Stream now, pay never.
Oh, man, what a final. Wu Yiza becoming the second youngest player to be crowned world champion last night, defeating Sean Murphy 18-17 in a brilliant, brilliant final. It was. So is he the new young star of the sport that snooker really needs to propel it right back into the spotlight. I'm delighted to say joining us now to tell us just that. It's a very good morning to founder and president of Matchroom Sports, Barry Hearn. Morning, Barry.
Good morning, Barry. How are you? Morning, boys. I'm good. Thank you very much.
You realise, Barry, that when Wu Yiza was born, you were 55.
Don't even remind me. Next year's my 50th consecutive year at the Crucible. Now you're feeling very old. But last night made me feel young because that was one hell of a final.
Oh, look, it was brilliant. I mean, in my view, Barry, you'll know far better than me, it sits right up there with the great finals.
I think it's 25 years since the last, wasn't it? Stephen Hendry against Peter Ebdon, that last time it went to a deciding frame. the drama was intense. Both players, I mean, take your hat off to Sean Murphy. I think one of the best performances I've ever seen from him in his career, and he came runner-up. But you couldn't split the two. It was like a fight that was going into the 12th round, and all the judges' cards had it level. It was just cut and thrust. And Wu, he is the beginning of, well, the continuation of what we're seeing is this dominant run of youngsters coming out of China where the game is on fire. Over 100 million viewers, I think, last night in China watching that match. You know, this is a special time for snooker, but a really special time for China. And the challenge is out, isn't it, to the United Kingdom, the European players to say, boys, there's a lot of class coming out of China. You've got to come up to the plate.
I was going to say, Barry, there's a lot of people reckon that it's the kind of handover, the youth coming through now, and that's a fair point. However, you look at John Higgins, and you correctly mentioned Sean Murphy. Has there been a classier loser? You know, the way he handled the whole thing was nothing short of magnificent.
No, he's been around. He knows the way it's run. He was desperate to win it, quite rightly. But, you know, we can give these guys a game, but the Chinese dominance is growing, and it's something we've got to be aware of. We have got some good young, you know, Stan Moody, Pullen, people like that coming out in their teens, and they're going to have to really roll their sleeves up because we can't just rely on the class of 92. These 50-year-old players are playing out of their socks, Higgins, Williams, O'Sullivan, but you feel like you're sitting on the beach at Margate and the tide's coming in and you're trying to send it back. You know, there's an inevitability about it, which is why there's 6 major events in China coming up this year, and they are, you know, I mean, they want to dominate. As simple as that. And we've got to go down there and find out this talent and grow them and get them to rival, because these kids they're not coming in at 35 or 40. They're coming in at 20, 19, 18. You know, they're hell of a players, fearless, totally fearless.
Yeah, well, you saw that in Wu Yiza last night. Absolutely fearless, and a lot of bottle as well. You know, every time he went through a bad run, he came bouncing straight back. I'll tell you one thing I did think, Barry. You know, people say, "Oh, 35 frame final, 2 days, it's too long," so on and so forth. But actually, it's
works.
not. It works. It's brilliant the way it builds up to a climax like that.
You know, it just reminds me of one of the great Agatha Christie mystery novels of all time. You know, there's a different nuance every chapter, but you don't actually find out who did it until the end, and it builds. And the tension in there last night. You know, I sat in the crowd for the first time for many minutes just to watch a bit of it because you could bite the atmosphere. You could smell it. It was intense. And the Crucible, I mean, thank goodness we did that deal to stay there for forever, virtually, because it just is made for creating moments of atmosphere like that, which means that the 2-day final over 4 sessions, which some people say, oh, that's a bit boring, that it actually builds. It's a totally unique event. And it's, you know, it's away from the crash bang wallop styles of most sports today that are looking to shorten formats. We have something like that, which is, you know, it just enthralls the nation.
Barry, you mentioned you sat in the crowd, and I don't think there's any doubt the venue is absolutely magnificent. Everybody, to a man and woman, loves the place, atmosphere, everything about it. However, there were 1 or 2 security problems, I think, over the period. Is that a problem for you? How are we going to deal with that?
You know, life's made up of numpties and normal people. You know, and as much as you try to work out what a numpty's going to do, I don't know what they're trying to prove. I think probably they've got a very sad life and they needed to have a bit of exposure and a bit of excitement. So, listen, let them have their moment. We'll sling them out. They won't be back. So I get tired of just watching people let themselves down. Yeah. It's more embarrassing for them in reality. Whether they're protesters or whether they're just numpties, they're a pain in the neck. And it's part of modern life. We'll deal with them. Don't worry about that, son.
Brilliant. Hey, just finally, Barry, Wu Yiza, 7-1 favourite to win the title again next year. What do you think?
I think he was 12-1 this year, which I thought was very short. The kid's a great player. You know, some of your listeners may not realise he won the World Amateur when he was 14 years old. That's for under-19s. This kid is a talent, but there's an awful lot more of them coming. There's an awful lot more of them coming. So watch this space. 7-1 may not look like value, although the kid is obviously a sensational player. But there's a lot of other. the sport's in a good place in terms of quality and in terms of intensity. And the kid was great. You know, what I loved last night was he thought for the first session that they were booing him and he was getting a bit upset. But they were wooing him.
That's right.
You know, it was... listen, I couldn't be happier where the sport is at the moment.
Yeah,
It's going great guns, and people like Wu Yiza just bringing another dimension. But there's a gang of them coming, and we've got to find our own talent as well. We're not going to lay down and let this Chinese invasion sweep us away. But it's going to be tough because they're very, very good.
Yeah, Barry, thanks very
All
much.
right, brother, all the best, mate.
Always good. Cheers, boys.
Take care.
Cheers, Barry.
I was just
President and founder of Matchroom Sports, Barry Hearn.
Just a wee bit concerned what category Barry had you and I in.
I know.
Was it the normal?
I wasn't going to ask him. I wasn't going to ask
him. It was dangerous water to tread in for you and I there.
Tell you what is right. We're in an era now, where the sort of sound bite is fashionable and so on. It's great to see the long form of something. Just like test matches. Correct. For me, compared to 2020, it was no comparison. Test match is the real thing. 35-frame finals in the World Snooker Championships are the real thing.
I agree totally. I mean, I don't mind. I enjoy the T20.
Yeah.
I've struggled to get into the 100, to be brutally honest with you. Test cricket, for me, best thing you'll get is an Ashes series. And that final, even the semi-finals in the snooker, I mean, the Higgins-Murphy game, magnificent viewing. Yeah. Absolutely magnificent. So I'm with you in that one, mate.
I mean, you know when it's played over that sort of length, that the better player will ultimately come out on top. And that's one of the great choices. It was a fantastic final.
Classic. It was an absolute classic.
Yeah. And that was our look back at the World Snooker Championship final with Pluto TV.
World Snooker Championship final update on TalkSport with Pluto TV, home of Snooker 900. Fast, free snooker you can dip into at any time. Stream now, pay never.
Just a reminder of that story. Manchester City have agreed terms in principle with Phil Foden for a new 4-year contract. It'll keep him at the Etihad until at least 2030. There'll also be an option of a further 12 months. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to what the heck is going on at Chelsea. And we'll also hear an exclusive interview with one of the up-and-coming managers in world football linked with Chelsea as well, Ces Fabregas.
Gentlemen, good morning. Calling all the way from Sydney, Australia.
Good morning.
Lovely to speak to the supply teachers today, as the headmaster and Principal White and Jordan not working today. Alex, you might remember me. I rang up just before the Europa Cup final last year, and you were going on about victory parades and buses and things like that. And we still managed to beat you in an awful game, but we had no Kulusevski, Bergvall and Maddison. And I did hear Adam Nathan, who you quoted, who is the purveyor of the finest gin and tonics in North London, said that you were kind of veritably choking in the quinoa bowl during the Brentford West Ham proceedings.
He definitely doesn't eat quinoa.
Well, I'm being ironic, but the reality is this is the first month that I've gone to work in Sydney with a veritable spring in my step for quite a while. Full credit to De Zerbi. We've got a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I did speak to Simon and Jim 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said that we were down, and we're not there yet. We've got a long way to go, but De Zerbi, in a short period of time, he's been clever. He hasn't imposed De Zerbi ball on them. He's gone about with the vibes, as the kids would say, boosting the morale. And, Tudor, much maligned. We got them running and fitter again, and he gave them a base for De Zerbi to play the way that they did yesterday. So, and that's for all the West Ham fans crying into their jelly deals this morning. You know, as other messages that you've got, we've got 7, 8, 9 players out injured. Crystal Palace were out boozing it up before they played West Ham. So there's no excuse, really.
Amen Corner, perhaps the most feared run of holes in golf. Each year it claims the tournament hopes of many, with balls hitting bunkers and water traps aplenty. But why is it so fearsome, and where did it get its name? Just the thoughts of holes 11, 12 and 13 at Augusta National gives the likes of Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth the shivers. McIlroy hit 3 over and Spieth hit 4 over in their final rounds to blow their hopes of a green jacket in 2011 and 2016 respectively. But did you know Amen Corner's name is inspired by a jazz song from 1933? American sports writer Herbert Warren Wint, on the left here, wrote about it in 1958, referencing the song shouted in that Amen Corner when describing the run. Hole 11 is a par 4 over 520 yards with a green guarded by a pond and bunkers to the front edge. 12, perhaps golf's most famous hole, is a par 3 over just 155 yards. The green's guarded by Rays Creek at the front, more bunkers and azalea bushes ready to punish the smallest error. Then there's the 13th that teases the hook shot over the trees. It's a dogleg par 5 over 545 yards that's inviting for big hitters who want to reach the green in 2. If you want to win the Masters, you have to keep your score down around Amen Corner. So who'll be the next to fall victim to golf's most famous and most daunting challenge?
Good morning, this is TalkSport Breakfast with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me, 9:33, so just under half an hour to go. Now, things go from bad to worse at Chelsea as they were, well, beaten out of sight by Nottingham Forest yesterday.
And whether it's Liam Rosenior or Callum McFarlane, their Premier League form is just absolutely poor. Chelsea being booed off at half-time, booed off by the few that are left at full-time. Not a great day for Chelsea.
I don't think it's a lack of commitment. I see these lads every day. They've prepared for the game, they're focused, they want to fight, they want to compete, they want to try and get the club back to where it should be.
Because you haven't got that much experience in the squad, you're finding a situation where you've got no one in the squad that's almost like, lads, what are we doing?
We need to get an experienced manager in, and McFarlane doesn't have a pro licence to permanently manage a football club. So what do we expect?
6 defeats on the bounce. Champions League is a very, very distant prospect indeed. Europe might be a distant prospect as well. And I want to Coist you looking at them. What do they need? Do they need to clear out of players? Do they need another new manager? Do they need a change of philosophy, whatever the philosophy is? Well, because I don't know.
It looks very much more or less the same players that won the World Club Championship, is it not? I mean, It's the same group of players, effectively, give or take. So you would have to say initially the problem might be a little bit deeper than the playing staff. I'm not one, and never have been one, for giving players who are not doing their job a free pass out of it and an excuse, because there's plenty there. If they want to look for them, they'll find them. But on this occasion, I think the problems go a little bit deeper, or a big bit deeper than the playing staff. I think the top of the club, I think it's been, from where I'm sitting and where I'm watching, it's been run really, really poorly. The recruitment's been diabolical. The money they've spent, you know, this season, right? I mean, if somebody said, would Chelsea win the World Club Championship, you know, you'd have taken it. Of course you'd have taken it. I think the best way to look at it is, if you look at the team that Chelsea beat in the final of the World Club Championship, and you look at the two clubs and the two teams and where they are now, Chelsea and PSG, tells you everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it in a nutshell. You look at the team they beat in the final of that tournament, and it tells you absolutely everything that you need to know.
So how do you stop the rot? Because right now, 10 points off Champions League places. They can forget the Champions League, really. Unless Villa were to win the Europa League and there's an extra place, and even then it's going to be very, very difficult. They're only 6 points above Nottingham Forest. Yesterday we've been talking about Forest being in a relegation dogfight.
They've fallen off a cliff, effectively. I mean, it's easy to sit here and say that the removal of Maresca looks an incredible decision at this moment in time. You know, they always have been a club, Jeff, in recent years that have changed manager, right? But the difference being, a lot of the managers that they've changed and have got rid of have been very successful at Chelsea at the same time. The difference is now they're getting rid of managers who have got nothing like the success that previous managers have had.
Yeah.
And there's a decline, and there's a, you know, I don't want to use that word, but there's something within the club that's rotting away, to tell you the truth. And they're going to have to find a remedy, but it can only happen from the top. You know, it's not going to happen. The playing staff might take a turnaround and win a couple of games here and there. They might even win an FA Cup. But come on, the decline in the whole football club on and off the pitch has been quite remarkable.
Yeah. I'm sure Enzo Maresca is sitting at home thinking, you know, I'm pretty well off out of this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's age-old saying, be careful what you wish for, isn't it?
Yeah, because he walked away with his reputation,
integrity, everything held high.
Everything held high, you know, and obviously having won the Club World Championship as well. So, look, I mean, when it comes to future managers, I'm going to ask you whether this fellow would be interested at all in one. But let's have a word with former Chelsea and Arsenal midfielder Ces Fabregas. Of course, he's at Como now and making a real impact. TalkSport's Rory Jennings caught up with him and spoke to him about the managers who'd influenced him during his career.
With the younger players, Arsene Wenger for me was the master. You know, he used to work with us. With Mourinho, how he used to work with the head of the players. You know, he was so spontaneous, so good at dealing, at reading certain dynamics in the dressing room, individually, collectively. Then with Antonio Conte, he was so disciplined. He was so hard. You know, he was very A, B, C, D. You know, you couldn't mess about. Guardiola, tactically, he gave me a lot of details that are important even now how I think about football. So yeah, the mix of everyone, and especially the most important, winning with all of them. Yeah, because this is very important. You know.
Blimey.
Yeah.
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 Well, he's got it absolutely spot on there. But I'll tell you what. What a pedigree! What a quartet to learn.
What a
from.
pedigree!
Incredible.
What a pedigree!
Was it Wenger, Mourinho, Conte, Guardiola?
Yeah.
Wow!
You know something, Jeff? It would be absolutely criminal not to pick anything up or pick a lot up from those four. And 4 of the best that's coached and managed in the game, right? And clearly, Ces Fabregas is an extremely intelligent man. He was an extremely intelligent footballer. You could see that. His brain on the football pitch, and clearly that brain off the football pitch is working very well. He's got Como at this moment in time. I'm having a quick look, but I think they're sitting in, it might be 6th or 7th.
Yeah, they're right up there.
Oh, they've got an upper.
They're certainly in contention for Europe.
They will qualify for Europe. They are. I think they're 5, 6, 7, might be whatever points ahead of the team below them, and they would have a realistic chance of certainly Europa League and a possibility of Champions League. Because I think Juve are sitting in 4th. I think Juve are sitting in 4th off the top of my head. So they could make Champions League. They won't make Europe. I could confidently predict they'll make Europe. And for Como, I mean, it's a remarkable achievement. It's fantastic. Now, he's sitting there thinking, what do I do? Have I taken Como as far as I possibly can? And the answer to that would be, I think, probably yes. Right? So is it the right time for him to move? Maybe. Is it the right time?
He said he wants to come to the Premier League at some stage.
Is it the right time for him to go to Chelsea? I don't think so. I do not think so. So his next move, which he has earned, will be obviously very, very important to him. But you can look at it two ways. Is it a good time to go to Chelsea right now because you would think there's only one way they can go, and that's back up? You can look at it that way. Or do you look at it and say, this place is bordering on shambolic, I don't want to go near it?
Yeah.
I think he's probably thinking the latter at this moment stage.
Do you think that most managers of his quality and potential will be thinking exactly the same thing?
Yeah. Managers are so clever and precise in their next movement. They've all got egos, of course they have, and so they should. And they'll believe they can do this, that, and the next thing. That's why they're the best. However, they're astute enough to look at situations and say, great job, I want it, but maybe. See, he's in a position, I think, where he can pick and choose. A lot of managers can't pick and choose and say, Chelsea job comes up, I'm taking that, need to take it, got to take it. Rosinha would be the perfect example. I think a perfect example that he can't knock that back.
No, of course.
Right. I think Fabregas can.
It's going to be an interesting summer, isn't it?
Oh, it really is.
Chelsea are concerned. I've got a text here saying, you cannot trust this group of Chelsea players. They're going the same way as Spurs. Overpaid, entitled hype jobs that will continue to get a string of decent coaches the sack. Interesting. Greeno, the postie, has texted as well. Here's another one for you about Chelsea. Hey, lads, do you think that Cole Palmer goes at the end of the season?
I think he might. I think he might. But then, again, Jeff, which of the big clubs are going to take him just now on that forum?
Yeah.
You know, previous form of Chelsea's excellent. Scott, you know, I praised him for making the move, wanting to play, taking the responsibility, going to another club and being the main man. And he did that, and he was very effective at it. But a little bit like his teammates, the whole thing seems to be collapsing around them. And I'm not sure that there's a way out for them. I mean, they can go and win the cup. Of course they could go and win the cup. But I just think the decline in standards overall has been, as I say, I'll say it again, it's been
the only thing I would say is we know how good Cole Palmer can be, and a move could revitalise his career. But it doesn't always work that way.
No, that's true.
Okay, thanks, Coisty. Coming up, now, it's not that I'm rubbing it in, but last season I predicted Liverpool to win the league when nobody else did. And this season I predicted Manchester United to get into the top four when nobody else did. So up next, I'll tell you everything that's going to happen for the rest of the season with a major focus on the EFL playoffs. Questing sports story of the day is to Super Ally McCoist in Ask Ali. I've got one of mine just quickly, Coisted, to start things off. Ces Fabregas is currently manager of Como. They are 5th in Serie A. He's been speaking today saying, of course, he wants to manage in the Premier League.
Yes.
Do you see Ces Fabregas as the next manager of Chelsea?
Cool. If you're a Chelsea fan, you'd bite your hand off for that. If you're Ces Fabregas, I think you're weighing up that situation extremely carefully because of what's going on up at the top. I mean, surely, he's done a great job there, man. I mean, what a job at Como, fantastic. And he will. I don't think there's any doubt that he'll manage in the top flight in England sooner rather than later. But is Chelsea right now the perfect job for Ces Fabregas? As I mentioned earlier, I mean, Chelsea fans would probably be salivating at the prospect of him coming and taking it, and so they should be. But I think there's warning signs at Chelsea. He'll have looked what's happened recently, Jeff, and he can't have failed to have noticed that it might not just be the perfect environment for him to start his career in England.
No.
Is that fair or harsh?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I just look and think, okay, where is he going to get a better opportunity?
Yeah.
Good morning, 9:48, Tuesday, May the 5th. This is TalkSport Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. So, as I mentioned before the break, I am the best predictor at TalkSport. So with the end of the season fast approaching, everyone wants to know how it's going to end. It's time for the return of Fortune Stelling. I've got Arsenal second, but I haven't got the winners that you'd expect.
You've gone for Liverpool?
I've gone for Liverpool.
Yeah.
People will make a great deal about they've made no signings. Well, they haven't made any signings so far. But equally, they haven't had any significant losses. In fourth, whoa, sit down. Don't bombard me. Fourth, Manchester United.
Oh. Yes, that's correct. I mean, if I was nitpicking, you got that one wrong. But anyway, I'll let you away with that one, Jeff. Let's start with...
Not necessarily.
Well, I think they'll finish third. I think you probably do too.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
No, credit where it's due. I did not see that coming. Anyway, we're going to start with this year's playoffs, my friend.
Oh, right,
all
okay.
15.
Oh, my
No,
goodness.
calm down. We're not going that daft. All 15 EFL playoff matches, including 3 finals at Wembley, are live and exclusive to national radio across TalkSport and indeed TalkSport 2. Now, Hull versus Millwall and Borough versus Southampton. I've got to say, mate, it's probably because I'm not involved in them. I absolutely love playoffs. I love them, mate. What have you got for us then?
Well, I'm in dangerous territory on both counts here. Because I'm at, if I predicted a Hull win, I'm going to offend Millwall fans, and that is not advisable.
No.
And I live not far from Southampton, but of course my hometown is not far from Middlesbrough, so I'm going to offend somebody there as well. Right, Hull Millwall. Hull have got striker in form. Ollie McBurney.
He's been tremendous.
17 goals.
Tremendous.
Goal scoring.
Couple of the weekend.
Brilliant.
Couple of goals against Norton. Brilliant. Different class.
But Millwall, they've got Femi Aziz, player I really like. They've got the guile of Barry Bannon as well now. They're unbeaten in 9 away games. They won at Hull in the regulation season 3-1. For me, I think Millwall will go to Hull and win the first leg and then do enough in the second leg to get through. So I think Millwall heading to Wembley. Southampton, Middlesbrough, 2 best footballing sides in the division, as far as I'm concerned, of those who've not gone up. And you know, Saints not lost in the league since January. 2 great young coaches.
Excellent.
Tondrek and Kim Hellberg, both done brilliantly. If you look back at the record books, you'll see Southampton got battered at Middlesbrough this season. They lost 4-0, but that was a different Southampton side. It's before the run. They got the momentum now. I like Middlesbrough. You know, I like they've got goals in Whittaker and Strelic and Conway, but for me, I think Southampton will just have too much for them. So I'm going to go for a Southampton-Millwall final.
Okay. And the obvious next question is?
I'm going to go Southampton. To go back to the Premier League. Sorry, Millwall. Apologies to Millwall, because I tell you what
a job he's done, Alec Neil.
What a job he's done.
Unbelievable.
And it would be really, really interesting to see Millwall in the Premier League. It really would. And I've got some mates who are Millwall fans as well, and they'd love nothing more. Well, they would actually. What they'd love more is they'd love to see West Ham come down and them go up, you know. But I just think Southampton.
Okay, we're moving into League One, my friends. Stevenage versus Stockport County and Bolton Wanderers versus Bradford City.
Okay,
bit of drama there at the weekend.
Oh yeah, well look, I mean, 2 points separate 3rd and 6th.
Yeah, it's amazing
at the end of this season. I'll start with Bolton against Bradford. Bolton 4 wins in the last 15. Did batter Stevenage at home, though. And they've also beaten Bradford 3-0 in the regulation season. For Bradford, Stephen Schumacher's in charge. I like him a lot. He was a Bolton player for I beg your pardon, for Bolton, Stephen Schumacher in charge. He was a Bradford player for a certain time. Just in terms, you know, of it's hard to split the two, but I'm just going to go for Bolton. And Stevenage against Stockport. Stockport score a lorry load of goals. Stevenage don't. Stockport 71 goals this season. Stevenage 49. And I think Stockport will have too much firepower. So I'm going to go Stockport-Bolton final.
And who will be playing in the Championship next year?
Well, it's blindingly obvious who will be playing in the Championship, because Dave Challoner is a mate of mine. And consequently, all analysis goes out of the window. I mean, for goodness sake, we have a cat called Dave Challoner. Yeah. So I'm obviously going to go for Stockport to win the playoff and another promotion on the Challoner CV.
If somebody said to me that your cat would be in the Championship next season, I'd eat it.
Oh, man.
League 2.
He'll be pleased as well. He's the shape of a football as well, by the way. He really is.
League 2, we're moving to mate. Grimsby versus Salford, and of course Chesterfield versus Notts County. What are you thinking?
Again, nothing between the two sides, the 4 sides at the end of the regulation season. Plenty of experience here, aren't there? David Artell and Carl Robinson, Paul Cook.
Wow.
Look, Salford, Grimsby. Grimsby did the double over Salford. You know, Salford finished strong.
Yeah.
We heard the views of Carl Robinson yesterday that they really should have gone up in that 3rd promotion place. I think they might regret missing out, because I think that Grimsby, you know what, Grimsby have got a great record in cup games recently, and these are effectively cup games, aren't they? So I'm going to go for Grimsby to squeak through it against Salford. And Chesterfield, Notts County. Paul Cook, old head, isn't he, against Martin Paterson, the Notts County boss. Chesterfield got 1 or 2 players I really like, you know, Dobra in particular. Good footballer, got a bit of experience in Naylor and Grigg and Mandeville. I think it might just be Chesterfield's turn to get to the playoff final. You know, it would be interesting to see Cookie there as well.
Yeah, of course, she's a great lad.
Yeah,
great lad.
Absolutely brilliant. So it's Grimsby against Chesterfield for me, and I am going to go for Grimsby. And I've got an immediate response. Steve from the Borough says, Stelling officially banned from within 10 miles of Middlesbrough.
That's what you say. See, when you run the risk of doing these, you know better than anybody.
Yeah.
The supporters from the teams that you're predicting to do well, they're never going to come on and say, well done, Jeff, thanks very much. It's the other mob that are going to
come on and going to absolutely hammer me. Look, I'm put in an impossible situation.
Yes, you are. And that's why I'm sitting in the bench here and saying to you, you're now moving on to the Champions.
So who do we go for? Southampton, Stockport and Grimsby to win the playoffs then.
Well, while you're on a roll, mate, let's do it. Champions League.
I'm
taking over here then.
Go on then, you go. Yeah.
PSG will play Arsenal in the final.
I agree. But if they don't, Atletico could play Bayern. It's definitely going to be something like...
Do you know,
I'm going to go for Arsenal. I think they'll go through tonight. And I think PSG will score goals again.
Yeah.
The Allies.
Do you know something? I agree with you, but has there ever been a harder game to predict an outcome of after we watched the first game than Bayern Munich versus PSG?
Yeah.
I mean, that is the official anything could happen game.
It could,
isn't it?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing if it finished 0-0 in the second leg?
No, because I'm doing it. It's the last thing I want. Right, Premier League, who's staying up now that we've got you?
Oh, look, I'm going to be in trouble in so many different places. I just look at the fixture list. I just look at the fixtures. Spurs have got the advantage now. They got a little bit of... I think West Ham are playing okay. By the way, they're unbeaten in 9 home league games.
I know they are.
I know they are. The home game against West Ham is no foregone conclusion. I think West Ham might get a point. Would that be enough? No, it won't be. I just think Spurs will stay up, and that means, unfortunately, West Ham to go down. What do you think?
Yeah, actually, sadly for West Ham, I think you're right. I really do. I look at West Ham. They are, as Sam said, their form's been very good. They've been fighting away. They were unlucky to lose a late goal against Manchester United. Šeško scored the goal, brilliant goal. They got a point against Manchester City. You could see them. I mean, you could see them getting a point against Arsenal. But I'm not sure it'll be enough.
If they do go down, I hope they stick with Nuno.
Oh yeah,
I think he's done a really good job there.
100%.
And what's gone before, and some of the recruitment that's gone before is not down to him, but he's getting a tune out of some players that previous managers were not able to get a tune out of.
Finally, last one. Have we got time? Probably just a one-word answer.
Yeah.
Arsenal City.
Oh, it's Arsenal.
Arsenal now. Yeah.
Look at the fixtures. It's got to be Arsenal. So you're off to Munich.
I'm off to Munich, mate, for that 0-0 draw that you predicted. I mean, your predictions have been top class so far.
I didn't predict a 0-0 draw. I said, wouldn't it be funny if it was a 0-0 draw?
Well, it might be funny to some. It'd be an absolute disaster to me because I'm looking forward to this game more than I've looked forward to any game in a long, long time. So fingers crossed it'll be another classic, mate.
Look, you will be in Munich. Count your lucky stars.
Correct.
And I am counting my lucky stars because I'm going to be in Fareham tonight with the fragrant Bianca Westwood. We've got a
lovely. How's she doing?
Hey, she's doing good, I think.
Great.
Well, I'll find out tonight, won't
Absolutely.
I? So, we're at Fareham Live this evening as well. So come along that if you possibly can. Have a great trip.
I will do, mate. And I'll see you shortly.
And of course, the breakfast show tomorrow should stay coming from Michael Owens. You heard from Michael during the course of the morning. And it is Shaban and Gabby who are your hosts. I'll see you next week.
Well, looking forward to it.
Bye now.